I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDKA.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back, only $59.99. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight you want, only $59.99 with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings, late-day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating, and lose the weight. Weight Loss Hypnosis, Sunday, January 11th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh West and Green Tree, 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today may bring a flurry in some spots to start the day. Otherwise, it looks to be cloudy with a high of 30. Those clouds generally hang tough for tonight with a low of 23. And tomorrow looks cloudy as well, but much less cold with a high of 45. Then clouds on Tuesday yield a bit of afternoon rain, high 49. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, here we go. Big weekend. We'll be back on Monday to talk about all things. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. Catch you on Monday. Right here, KDK.
Hey, your Pratt Pack, we got a bonus half hour, so let's get right to it. 866-391-1020. Tomorrow, Corey O'Connor sworn in. Next mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. We'll have comprehensive coverage, KDK Radio, throughout the day. My colleagues and I will be talking about it, and tomorrow night I'll be joined in the 7 o'clock hour, longtime political analyst John Delano, and also Joe Mystic, law professor, Thomas Klein School of Law, and, of course, former member of the Sophie Masloff administration. Listen, I got to tell you, that's a good sign. That's something to cling to. That's something to get excited about. I really think Corey's going to change the fortune of the city of Pittsburgh. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity when it comes to the resources that we have here in Western Pennsylvania. A lot of it has to do with the gas industry, the steel industry. But, you know, we have been big in the world of technology in Pittsburgh, meds and eds as well, for a long time. You know, a lot of people, because we've always had that gift of being the steel city, even when steel wasn't the booming business that it once was, there were a lot of things being developed through brands like Carnegie Mellon and others that a lot of people didn't see on a regular basis or weren't plugged into because maybe they just weren't knowledgeable about it because it wasn't a part of their life. But the perfect storm, and I think him coming in, he's a great people person. I think he's going to be able to lure more businesses here. And I also think somehow, some way, Nippon U.S. Steel will find a way to get into the inner workings when they bring their U.S. headquarters from Houston here to the day-to-day business of Pittsburgh. I've never been more excited about someone getting ready to become mayor. And obviously the connection to the family and knowing him and his late father and understanding how passionate they are about this city. It really is going to be a special time, and tomorrow will be an exciting day. And I hope all of you will be with us every step of the way from the swearing in and then, of course, the inauguration itself. Again, we'll have reporters in the field, anchors covering all of it, my colleagues and I talking about it. And then tomorrow night we'll have some special guests. But the big story this weekend, once again, is what happened in Venezuela. So I want to throw this out at you, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it. But this is going to be a turning point for the war in Ukraine. But also, there's the future of Vladimir Putin resting on all of this. You know, I was looking earlier at the footage of Maduro being walked into the detention center in Brooklyn, where El Chapo once was, and following his indictment on narco-terrorism charges and weapons charges. And no sooner was I looking there, and I started to scroll, and I noticed something from the New York Post, a picture of Vladimir Putin and Nicolas Maduro, basically talking about how world leaders are stressed out now about what happened in Venezuela. Vladimir Putin should be shaking in his comrades' boots. Why? Because the oil supply that he was always depending on, and don't think for 1 minute some of that laundered drug money from the cartel in Venezuela and elsewhere wasn't finding its way to the doorstep of Putin and the Russian army. Bold statement? Come on. Listen, we all know about the mob connections in Russia. I mean, the National Hockey League went through hell on earth because of it for many years, holding family members hostage unless these hockey stars would sign or give back, kickback protection money to these mobs which were growing at an epidemic rate in Russia. But this thing is going to backfire because it's always about following the money, cutting the head off the snake, as I've said many times. Well, the snake is dead. The money is drying up. Not yesterday. It literally dried up the moment Maduro was in that helicopter, thus that plane ride, and then on Iwo Jima to start things, to get his body out of the government, to get his hands out of the cash, to get him removed from these cartels and these tentacles that were reaching to Cuba, Iran, Russia, China, are all now cut off, done, finished. And I can promise you right now, no cash flow coming into Putin, no oil coming into Putin. And whatever he has left, it will be gone. And everything will come to a screeching halt, including those tanks that have been rolling through Ukraine at epic rate. I mean, they have been winning that war. No matter what anybody wants to believe, they have been winning that war. But now Vladimir Putin could be on his way out as well. And I believe the president of Colombia got an ultimatum. I think he, too, is going to be under the watchful eye of the president. I think these cartels are going to have a tough time doing business with these government leaders, no matter how much cash they promise them, because they're going to simply say, no more. I don't want to be the next in line. I'm not ready to give up power. I'm not ready to see our country overtaken by America and our resources, because a lot of these foreign countries do have incredible resources, and they are still doing things like making steel, drilling for oil, and they're not worried about the EPA. They're not worried about government regulations. They want it to be business as usual, and they would rather have a little if it means giving up a lot. And they're probably saying, we survived without the drug money before, well, let's do it again. And I think many of these people who've been taking money from these cartels, whether it be a Putin or whether it be the president of Colombia or Maduro or anyone else, they're simply saying, like Noriega, do we really want the U.S. military invading our country? And I can promise you right now that these dictators, these ugly individuals, these common criminals, cold-blooded killers that they are saying today, oh my, this guy is not messing around. And don't think for 1 minute that the president isn't thinking, okay, you don't want to come to the peace table? Just like Maduro, I told you time and time again to get out of town. Like Marco Rubio said yesterday at that press conference, he was warned. He wanted to push back. He wanted to fool around. Well, Putin keeps pushing back from when he came to Alaska. Every single time that Zelensky has met with the president, talking about promise, ready to get to the peace table. Even months ago when they were talking about meeting in Turkey, Putin would dangle out the bait and then reel it in. That quick. And he once again was the spoiler. And then he started to gain momentum because resources were being cut off to Ukraine, including from the United States of America, I might add. But now the president is saying, okay, you want to play hardball? I'll play hardball. I'm going to take away everything, including the oil you need for your war machine and the drug money. And now Iran, think about this. One of the things that they've always had a problem with is the ability to launch a nuclear weapon because of the distance between them and the United States. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Maduro was saying, look, come here, just like they did in Cuba, Russia. You may remember Bay of Pigs of President Kennedy, the standoff. But guess what? President Kennedy blinked time and time again, waited for what would be the logical decision. Not this guy. He throws the first punch. He may warn you a couple of times, but he throws the first punch. So right now, if I'm Vladimir Putin, I'm thinking, how much longer before I get arrested and walked out of my own country, or I end up getting taken out by members of my country, or we end up not being able to finish the job in Ukraine and have to run back across the border as my fellow comrades did in 1976 in Afghanistan, leaving tons of military machinery. You remember that story? President, once again, has got the ball in his court. Daryl in the car on KDK with your Pratt Pack. Hey, Daryl.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, sir. Thanks for calling.
Good. Hey, just to address your last point about them leaving all that military equipment in Afghanistan, we resupplied that when we left. And that was a Donald Trump idea to leave. Now, Biden did it incorrectly, but we left there just the same as the Russians, and we left billions of dollars of equipment.
$8 billion worth of equipment. You're right.
Yeah. So, you can't make it sound that way. Secondly, with this Trump going after Venezuela and it's going to affect Putin, you know what will affect Putin? Arming the Ukrainians the way the United States promised to do back in 1993, 91. The United States promised that. You, me, and everybody else promised that, and we won't do it. And that's because we have a dictator. Maybe not a dictator, but an authoritarian who doesn't care about the rule. He doesn't understand democracy because he's never had to. This is the world we live in. And we don't deserve a president like him. We don't deserve Biden, so don't start on that. They always start on that.
No, Biden was Biden was horrible. And this guy, he's not a dictator.
Yeah.
He's just basically renting space. He'll be gone, and he will dial it down after the midterms. This is one big splash. He's trying to get it all done in a short period of time. But you can't keep letting these so-called presidents of these countries that are nothing more than thugs, criminals, dictators, basically controlling the drug flow into this country and doing backdoor deals because of the piles of cash they have. Listen, if not for anything, whether he's guilty of anything or not, or doing anything that anybody else doesn't do, he's out of the picture. Like Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, out of the picture. The less of these cockroaches that we have walking amongst us, the better we are.
Excuse me, but he is out of the picture. But China is responsible for more fentanyl coming into this country than when you're a bully, you attack the little guy. When you're a bully, you smack the small kid. When you're a bully, you're afraid of the Putins and the Chinese. And that's what we are, and they know it. And if you think that Putin is the only one in his country that has got his attitude and his abilities, you're wrong. The Chinese are the same way.
Yeah, but
guess
what?
They're going to continue.
They're going to be hurt by what happened in Venezuela because they, too, have done backdoor deals, and they, too, are getting oil, and they have 2 billion people, Daryl, to feed. So they're going to be in a very complex situation, too. Oh, I know they don't. That's obvious. Well, guess what? Their people could Hey, remember Tiananmen Square? They could basically uprise again and go after the government. Their government may be on the verge of being tipped upside down. So what could happen here? We could end up having democracy in places that we never thought possible. I'm telling you, this thing is going to truly upset the apple cart. The president, whether you like him or not, looked at this from a business perspective and basically like someone going after a takeover in the world of business. He is all in, and I'm telling you right now, he will run Venezuela, and you'll have American oil companies back there pumping oil within the next couple of months. It's going to happen.
So we're in for imperialism? Is Greenland next? Hey, why don't we take Greenland? They got so many minerals. Let's just take them. What the hell?
But Daryl, Greenland's not bringing illegal drugs into our country and killing Americans. Venezuela is.
Like I said, why aren't we going after the Chinese then?
But you know what? Because we know that would be a very tall task. So what you do, you cut them off at the knees, and you go after the money, and that's exactly what we did here.
They'll punch you back. That's why. And when you're a bully, you don't want to
Guess what, though? This president doesn't care about being punched back. You punch him, he loves it. I think he enjoys being punched. That's how much this guy loves a good fight. Daryl, good call. Got to take a break. We'll come back, wrap up the hour. Stay with your Pratt Pack. Good stuff, KDKA.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio, KDKA. Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Pitt lost to Clemson College basketball yesterday, 73-68, and it was Penn State losing to Illinois, 73-65. Duquesne lost to Virginia Commonwealth, 93-80. Robert Morris taking on Oakland on the road at 3 o'clock. Penn's their 4th win in a row. They beat Detroit 4-1. Today they dropped the puck against Columbus on the road at 3. And in the NFL yesterday, Tampa Bay a winner over Carolina, 16-14. They have to get New Orleans to defeat Atlanta to win the NFC South. If Atlanta defeats New Orleans, it's Carolina that can claim the conference championship. And Seattle now is the number 1 overall team ranked in the NFC. They get a first-round bye. They win the NFC West as they defeat the 49ers. Last night, the final 13-3. Steelers are a 3.5-point underdog against Baltimore. Winner against the AFC North crown tonight in Pittsburgh. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-747-7676. 800-747-7676. Again, that's 800-747-7676.
Shopping for replacement windows? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
And we have a great selection of colors and finishes. Experience Metropolitan Window Company. Stop by our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
All right, back to your Pratt Pack. Couple of minutes left to go. Anybody else want to jump in here? And, hey, feel free. I'd love to hear from you. Been a busy couple of days for sure. Back on the weeknight show this week after spending some time doing some musical chairs for the holiday and looking forward to it. We got Jim Struzzi going to be here tomorrow night as well, state representative, talking more about the future of these data centers and what's going on with the latest in Homer City and that project that is going to bring billions to this region and thousands of jobs and also put thousands of people in the building trades to work for a very long time to come. Also, we're going to be following closely the big day tomorrow. Corey O'Connor, the next mayor in waiting, I think it's number 62 for the city of Pittsburgh. He'll be sworn in at 1. And then, of course, the inauguration. We'll have reporters at the scene. We'll have everything that you need to know. They'll set the scene, and then you and I will have a chance to talk about it in the 7 o'clock hour. Two very politically savvy individuals will join us. John Delano, going to bring him out of retirement and to talk about the future and what he sees as far as the early days of the O'Connor administration. And Joe Mystic, law professor at Thomas Klein School of Law at Duquesne University, and one-time staff member with the late, great Sophie Maslow. All right, Ryan is in Newcastle, and he joins me now on KDK. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. Concerning Putin and Zelensky, Ukraine, Russia, are you aware of the Minsk agreement? Have you read that?
No, fill me in, please.
Well, no, it's too lengthy to fill you in on, but starting in 2014, the United States kind of mingled with Ukraine and basically ousted the president at the time, and here we are today with Zelensky, who, by the way, his term has long expired. But President Putin moved inward to Ukraine. Luhansk and Donetsk were the two regions of Ukraine that were being bombed and attacked. In other words, the civilians there were under attack by Zelensky, and Putin said that's enough. Another thing, the Minsk agreement outlines
Let me just kind of fill the people in, because I don't want to keep using terminology that people don't understand, Ryan. It's a series of failed ceasefire and peace protocols from 2014 to 15 intended to end the war in Ukraine. So I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page. Go ahead.
Agreement.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep, go ahead.
So that's it. Please educate yourself.
I
You're
just did.
spreading propaganda that isn't
2014,
correct.
September.
And I know a lot more about this than you do because
well, yeah, because
I've
you
been there
obviously
and you
can't.
haven't.
You called me first. You called
you
me
haven't
first, so
been-
now I've read it. Now I'm educating you. So we educate each other. That's what this program's all about. A 12-point deal establishing a ceasefire, prisoner exchange, humanitarian aid, and withdrawal of heavy weapons, but quickly broke down. But it means nothing, sir, when it comes to stopping Putin, because if we don't stop Putin, he will not stop. He'll roll into another country, and the next thing you know, we'll be involved in a world war. It's that simple. So, you got to at least bring something to the table that everybody can understand. We can all throw out documents and dates and history and events, but you got to give us a chance to get ramped up because we're not on the same wavelength. The recipe to success of any great communicating effort in any talk format is you bring something and I bring something to the program. That's what it's all about. All right, 866-391-1020. Busy half hour here on the phone lines. Coming up, the news at 7, and then we roll into Pittsburgh Works for a Sunday on KDKA. Let's go to Matty. Matty, you're up next. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. What's up, Matt?
Just a real quick, super duper question that I don't know really an answer to. And on the Maduro case in Venezuela, on the oil that is there, the reserves, why do we have Trump in the U.S. taking control of the oil reserves when it's not U.S. soil? That's really just a question I am lost on.
That's a great question, and I'm going to explain it to you. A Chevron Gulf Oil, one-time Gulf, a great American company, blue chip stock, very much evident here in downtown Pittsburgh, the Gulf building, obviously. It was their oil fields. They brokered the deal, brought the property, developed it, owned all of the rights. And what happened when this thug came into office, this dictator, started doing deals with the drug cartels. He basically had a lot of cash, and he basically wanted more. So what he did, he just started throwing these companies out of his country. Basically said, it's in my country, I don't care if you own it, you're out of here. He stole it from these American companies is what he did. And now the president is saying we're taking it back.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I've been trying to do my own research and really haven't found the answer, and that's a good way. That's a really nice way to put it. I appreciate the info.
You bet, man. That's what we're here for, to help each other. Appreciate it very much. Look, I don't know if it'll ever go back to Gulf Oil, but if you think about it, Gulf Oil was basically everywhere. I mean, they had gas stations. That orange and blue logo was everywhere. I actually knew the CEO at one time, Joe Petrosky, talked to him in person, big fan. And then all of a sudden, Maduro gets in 2013, everything starts to slide away. And he just did it because he wanted to be the ruler of that country. He wanted to be the dictator. So much so that he started to believe his own press. And when President Trump and Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, and others kept saying, you got to get out because these drugs are coming into our country, it's got to stop. And we point fingers at you, the person behind it, because of the deals that you're doing, these undermining deals, thinking you're pulling the wool over our eyes with these drug cartels that are fueling your government because of the illegal cash flow. Well, we're going to tell you again. Third time is not a charm. They came in, took them out. And now they're going to take back what has been rightfully bought and paid for. I mean, it's like if you buy an automobile in another country, it's your car. You own it. They can't take it back because it's in their country and the tires are on a highway in a foreign country. If you paid cash for it, you bought it in a foreign country, you have the title to that car, you are entitled to that car. It's like any real estate deal. It's like any property deal. It's like any business deal. And believe me, Gulf Oil paid a huge amount of money to be able to do what they did. But the problem was that Maduro didn't figure this out. They didn't have the ingenuity or the skilled labor to carry it out. What Gulf did and others, They actually had the recipe for success. They brought in some of the brightest minds in the oil industry around the world. They got a great group of workers from around the world. They started to hire within the great country of Venezuela to where people actually had a good paying job. And I believe if you really do the deep dive, the reason they threw Gulf oil out and others, because they wanted to pay slave labor. They didn't want to give their working class people an opportunity to have a life, to have an opportunity to think for themselves. So what do they do? All of these power-hungry dictatorships? They keep people in the dark. They don't give them a chance to see the daylight and to have money, to have a life. They want to keep them down under their thumb so they can control them. Well, guess what? The people that have left Venezuela and are cheering here in this country because of this act, many of them will be heading back to Venezuela, and it'll be a win-win for everyone. We'll continue to follow this story that is just beginning, and I'm sure the first part of the week is going to be very interesting, and we'll have a chance to talk about it. All right, news coming up, and then Doug's here with the first of the new year, another edition of The Organic Gardener, moments away on KDKA.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
And one of the things that you've heard a lot about, especially toward the second half of last year, is changes in the healthcare world. CEO of MediConnect, we know him very well, Lance O'Brien.
Things get really, really difficult for some people. So who's being impacted the most? One is early retirees, and usually your middle class.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-932-5858. That's 800-932-5858. 800-932-5858.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking, only $59.99. Sunday, January 11th, the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh West and Green Tree. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 23 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 7 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife are in custody and will face a judge later this week. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez has more on the mission to take Maduro and what comes next for the Latin American nation.
Capturing Maduro was an audacious snatch-and-grab operation in Venezuela in the early hours of Saturday morning. A swarm of U.S. military helicopters, special forces units known as the Night Stalkers, descended on Caracas. Explosions lit up the sky, and within 2.5 hours of U.S. forces touching down, Maduro and his wife were in custody.
This was a law enforcement exercise. It was the Department of War in support of the Department of Justice pulling out an indicted person who ultimately will face justice.
President Trump and his team watched the mission unfold from his Mar-a-Lago home. The president said the U.S. will take over Venezuela without explaining how that's going to work, how long it could last, and whether U.S. troops would be needed to do it. He also said the U.S. will take over the country's oil reserves. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
And Caribbean airspace is now open again to commercial travel. Trump administration closed the airspace when it was taking the military action against Venezuelan President Maduro. It led to hundreds of flight cancellations. CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve has more on this developing story.
U.S. carriers will be able to resume service to more than a dozen Caribbean airports. That includes airports on Puerto Rico, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Aruba. Take San Juan, Puerto Rico. That airport has seen more than 400 flights canceled coming in and out.
It's expected to take days to clear up the travel disruptions. In East Liberty on Saturday afternoon, more than 100 people gathered to protest the Trump administration's call to capture the Venezuelan leader. That gathering was held outside the East Liberty Presbyterian Church at Penn and Highland Avenues. It was organized by the Pittsburgh chapter of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. There were some people there that held signs that read, quote, "Endless war, shut it down." There was another sign that read, "Peace on earth." Another sign read, "No blood for oil," among others. Those gathered questioned the true reasons for the capture of Maduro, if it was national security related or an attempt to have more power in Latin America and access to oil. Similar protests were held across the country. Well, a crash on the Parkway East sent one person to the hospital. It happened Saturday morning around 9 o'clock. It happened on the outbound side near the Bates Street on-ramp. No word of the condition of the person who was taken to the hospital. The cause of the crash is under investigation. KDKA Radio News Time is now 7:03. The AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Obsessed with pizza? So are they at Slice on Broadway. The 2025 winner of World's Best Cheese Pizza Slice is right here in the Berg with 6 Pittsburgh locations: Beachview, East End, Carnegie, Robinson, Southside, and Wexford. Always serving delicious New York-style pizza, hoagies, and salads. Order yours today. Visit sliceonbroadway.com. New York style, yins are made. Sliceonbroadway.com. New to Rivers Casino? Join now and earn up to $1,000 free slot play. Stop by Rush Rewards on your next visit to start earning today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. It's the weekly program that keeps you current with the latest travel trends and vacation values. Listen to AAA's Talking Travel every Saturday morning at 11 on KDKA Radio.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in tax debt? Do not ignore this message. The IRS has more power than any collection agency in America. Often without warning, they can garnish your wages, levy your bank account, place a lien on your home, seize assets like your business, and revoke your passport. Every year, thousands lose their paychecks overnight or have their assets seized because they waited too long. You don't have to face the IRS alone. Call Federated Tax today. We'll connect you with an experienced tax professional who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. You may qualify for IRS hardship programs like the Fresh Start Initiative or many other programs that can stop garnishments, stop bank account seizures, reduce or eliminate penalties, and lower your settlement amount. You deserve to maintain your life. Don't let the IRS take it over. Make the call today to Federated Tax, 800-300-7345. The call and consultation are absolutely free. 800-300-7345. 800-300-7345.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
There may be a flurry around to start the day today. Otherwise, it looks rather cloudy for the second half of the weekend with a high of 30. Those clouds stick around for tonight, low 23. Before the chill breaks for tomorrow with plenty of clouds and a high of 45. Tuesday also looks to be mostly cloudy with some afternoon rain arriving, high 49. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's time to get greened. Doug Oster is here. All natural, no pesticides, no artificial ingredients. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, here we go. 10th caller is going to win that gift certificate to Sorgels in Wexford, 412-922-1020. But what a unique opportunity, the first show of the new year. And you have a chance to dive in and ask any of your gardening questions. I've lined up a few, too, and they don't have to necessarily be winter-related. They can just be gardening questions because we're going to get a little bit of a warm-up. And that means we're going to be thinking warm weather. And you can't help but think after a torrential snow that we've dealt with over the last month since Thanksgiving, hey, I can't wait till spring and to get a little dirt under the fingernails. So wide open conversation today with Uncle Doug, DougOster.com, 866-391-1020. You're a busy guy, so much so you're headed to Baltimore.
That's right. Happy New Year, everybody. And Rob, we're starting our 21st year together. Can you believe it?
All right.
Gosh, I was only 13 when we started doing this show together.
Man, that was a long time ago. 21 years.
Yeah, headed for Baltimore. It's the Mid-Atlantic Nursery Trade Show. I go every year. I'm going to see all the latest and greatest new things that are introduced, and I love my trip to Baltimore every year, get away for a little bit. Baltimore's a pretty cool city, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to get lots of interviews there for the show. That's where I go and find some interesting guests, and I think it'll be kind of fun. I'll be posting every day on social media, on Facebook and Instagram and all that, just showing what I'm seeing. And then I was on Pittsburgh Today Live last week and talking about winter sowing, so I thought we could start off talking about that and how that is done. Oh, wait. Do you have an actual copy of the Post-Gazette today? Do you guys get it still? No? Okay. Well, I'm on the front page today.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an ad for the trip to Poland.
Nice. You made it to the front
I finally made it to the front page from back when I worked there to the gardening pages on Saturday. I'm supposed to be on the front page today, so there's a little...
How does that feel? That's pretty special, man.
Yeah, I was surprised that I could get it. They Colette gave me a budget for advertising, and I couldn't advertise with the Post-Gazette while they were on strike because all my friends worked there.
I get
and
it.
Then once the strike was over, I could put some money in there. I've got an ad running in the Trib, and then now this one on the
Might go viral
for the Post-Gazette. So it's all about the trip to Poland. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I next week I'll tell you about. I've got a special online presentation about the trip a week from Monday, but we'll talk about it next week. But hopefully that ran today on the front page, so we'll see.
Anyway, I have the app. I don't know if it's on the app.
I don't know. I think I only paid for the print version. So
listen, an old print guy, an old warrior like you, a good thing.
Old is the key there.
Well, I can get to Coons Market. They open at 8 o'clock. I'll get a copy there. That's pretty cool. Maybe here's what I want folks to do. You get a copy of the Post-Gazette, take a picture, and throw it up on social media.
Yeah, see if I'm on the bottom strip there. I hope I am. I'm supposed to be.
Man, that's great. All right, 866-391-1020. There was talk about me making the front page many times, but thank goodness I didn't.
I actually, when I was driving in here, I was thinking about it. I was like, well, I've been on the front page before, and I remember I went out.
Your work or you?
My work.
Okay.
But I was out at, what was it called? It's in White Oak. Oh, my Angora Gardens, which is no longer there.
Right.
And it was my first visit there. And I was speaking, I think, to a garden club or something, and the ladies on the gardening club were like in the park on the swings. And I shot a picture of them on the swings, and it made the front page. But that's how I met some really good friends from Angora Gardens when it was there. And thinking about how some of those people from Angora Gardens are no longer with us, and but what a special place that was, and that was one of my front page pictures back in the
was it color?
Back in the day, it was color. It was color, and
that's big time.
It was such a cute picture because it was like senior citizens on the kids' swings. So anyway, winter sowing seeds. So this is what the segment was for Pittsburgh Today Live, and Most people use the container. It's just a milk jug or water jug that you take scissors and you cut from one handle to the other. The handle becomes a hinge, and so you're drilling some holes in the bottom for drainage. You're filling it up with moist planting mix. You're throwing seeds in there. You're closing the lid, and then you're putting it out in the snow, like right now. And those seeds will sprout when they're ready. You could use an old milk jug. You could use a rotisserie chicken container, anything that has a lid, a clamshell thing. And lots of people are doing this now. Instead of starting your seeds like under lights, when we do it in March, April, sometimes even earlier, we just put these into this container. Some people will tape like the milk jug, tape it shut, but I don't. I just close it. It stays moist. It's fine. And then, like I said, the seeds sprout when they're ready. You thin them out. You put them into the garden, and the first things to sprout will be the lettuce, the arugula, early stuff like that. Then you could put tomatoes and peppers in there. But if I was doing tomatoes and peppers, I would want to plant something that puts on tomatoes really quick, like a Sun Gold or a Red Racer, 4th of July, Early Girl, something like that. We always want to get a jump on the season for peppers and tomatoes, and the same thing with the peppers, an early variety for that sort of thing. And so that's winter sowing, and it's an easy way to do it. And you can see the segment, you can see the video at my website at DougOster.com, and it just explains everything you do to put it in there. It was fun. I actually met with Ray Petlin that day. Ray Petlin and I are friends. His stepfather is a weatherman in Cleveland, and when I was in Ohio, I worked with him, and actually at the at the Dandelion Cook-Off, I worked with Mark Johnson. It was cool, and his stepdad is a really big gardener, and so I wanted to give him some of the seeds of the Limbaugh Legacy potato top because Ray is one of the reasons that post went viral. I posted my normal story about Limbaugh Legacy potato top.
Ray's the weatherman on Channel 2.
Yeah. And Ray reposted it, and then it just caught on. I was in California visiting my son, and then it just went everywhere, and so every day I'm sitting there filling envelopes of seeds and stuffing them. I was doing it last night watching Baker Mayfield do his thing.
Yeah, I know. And your Browns, what did they do to us last week?
Oh, geez.
You and your son, I was thinking.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the Steelers played like that. For those of you who don't know, most of you probably do. No, I'm from Cleveland. You have to be a Browns fan. You don't stop being a fan of where you grow up. You told me, right? My prediction was like 28-9 Steelers, but no.
They just played terrible against
that was it. I take so much flack from people.
Not last week.
And I get texts when the Browns are so terrible. I get texts every time something bad happens. So after that game, I started texting with no response from the Steelers. No, I had a filter. There was no response from the Steelers fans because
I would have responded.
They were so mad.
Were you and your son at your typical watering hole?
No, he went down somewhere to watch it, and I stayed home. My oldest son was visiting, and I just said, let's just hang here and watch the game. It's going to be embarrassing. I don't want to be out there with a bunch of Steelers fans.
Realistically, and the reason why they're probably going to go down today or tonight, no DK Metcalf really hurt that football team.
Well, there's no doubt about that, but I don't want to make this a sports show. But, the play calling and I just don't understand it. You've got this amazing team and concept. When you're a Browns fan, you're looking at the Steelers and their team concept and how they have this depth and they're so smart about the way they call plays. And
not last week.
No.
Arthur Smith, I don't know what he was doing.
There's definitely, though, pass interference there at the end.
But that's okay. We'll give you one. let's just hope somehow, some way. I don't know how, but maybe they get a win tonight, but it doesn't look good. We're going to talk about that in the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. We have some sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods coming up. But now it's your chance to phone in and ask Doug anything about gardening. And if you want to take a sneak peek ahead into the spring, we can do that. Weather's going to warm up, so we're going to be thinking spring. And you're always thinking gardening with Doug. 866-391-1020.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The KDKA Radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Hey, yes, we do have delicious produce, always at Janoski's in Clinton. They'll be opening at 8 today, so if you want apples and broccoli, great produce, vegetables, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, collards, kale, lettuce, potatoes, Swiss chard, winter squash, we've got it all. And let's face it, the next couple of months, even though we're thinking spring, it's going to be winter. When you want that delicious farm fresh product in those jars, from spaghetti sauce to salsa, real comfort food, get to the real farm. Janoski's Farm, Route 30 in Clinton, Pennsylvania.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations that serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Pitt lost to Clemson College basketball yesterday, 73-68, and it was Penn State losing to Illinois, 73-65. Duquesne lost to Virginia Commonwealth, 93-80. Robert Morris taking on Oakland on the road at 3 o'clock. Penn's their 4th win in a row. They beat Detroit 4-1. Today they dropped the puck against Columbus on the road at 3. And in the NFL yesterday, Tampa Bay a winner over Carolina, 16-14. They have to get New Orleans to defeat Atlanta to win the NFC South. If Atlanta defeats New Orleans, it's Carolina that can claim the conference championship. And Seattle now is the number 1 overall team ranked in the NFC. They get a first-round bye. They win the NFC West as they defeat the 49ers. Last night, the final 13-3. Steelers are a 3.5-point underdog against Baltimore. Winner against the AFC North crown tonight in Pittsburgh. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Doug Oster tells you how to keep it green. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM at AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, so if anybody wants to call in, we would love to hear from them. But you wanted to kind of finish your thought about Pittsburgh Today live, and then I've got a few things for you.
Well, it was just fun to see everybody, Ray and Mikey, and that's I think an interesting topic for normal people, normal with air quotes on it, because they were just like, wait a minute, you put it in a container and you put it outside. I mean, isn't everything going to freeze? Yeah, you're just simulating what nature would do. A plant grows, it flowers, it sets seeds, and then those seeds drop, and the next year they sprout. Anybody who grows tomatoes, if you leave tomatoes in the garden, they'll drop on the ground, and you'll have lots of little transplants there. I did get my first seed catalog, which is always exciting. It's from Johnny's Selected Seeds up in Maine, and in 1991... pre-internet days, the family and I drove from Cleveland to Maine in 2 days, and I realized that, oh, wait a minute, Johnny's Selected Seeds is up here somewhere, and it found it on the map, and went there just unannounced, and the owner, who has since retired, Rob Johnston, he was out front, and I was just like, oh, hi, I'm a big fan of what you're doing. Can we look around? He goes, I'll give you a tour.
Wow.
Come on, let's take a look. And it was such a great time, because it was just, for me, kind of the start of this passion of all these different types of seeds, and heirlooms, and I actually had a relationship with them where I had this bean I was growing. I still grow it. I grew it last year, a Cherokee Trail of Tears. And I've told the story 100 times, and it's just where the Cherokee were on the East Coast. They were evicted and sent to Oklahoma in the 1800s, and on this Trail of Tears, this death march, took the bean with them. That's how it got its name. And it was the first heirloom I had ever grown. I'd done a story. This was late 80s when I was working in Medina, Ohio. And I really loved the bean, and I still love the bean. It's a pole bean and has just a unique nutty flavor. I love it. It starts green, turns purple, then when you cook it, it turns green again. And so I'd sent them up some seeds for Cherokee Trail of Tears after I'd met Rob. I said, try this out. See if this is something for your catalog. This would be cool. And they trialed it, but to my surprise, they had sent me some seeds for an heirloom tomato called Prudence Purple. I had never grown an heirloom tomato, and I said, oh, this is going to be awesome. So I planted this tomato, got it going, got it in the garden, and then the backstory about the tomato is I was moved to the Youngstown Vindicator, and I was doing a story on this place, and they had this dog that they were moving to California, and they needed a home for this dog. It was an Australian Shepherd.
Oh.
And I said, does it know all its commands? And they're like, oh, yeah. You know, they had sheep.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, this thing must be. And so I called Cindy, and I was just like, hey, is it okay if I bring this dog home? And she's like, oh, yeah, it sounds great. And I got the dog up into the truck, and it just shook. Her name was Pearl. It just shook the whole way home. And it was an hour drive from Youngstown to where I lived. And as soon as I opened the door of the truck, the dog just bolted, just ran away, It took me 20 minutes running around the neighborhood to catch this dog, okay? And every time that dog could escape, it would never come to me. I would go to the neighbor. It would cross the street and be at the bank and looking at people. It was driving me nuts. Anyway, I'm sitting in the house, and this Prudence Purple tomato is turning pink. It's ready to be picked the next day, and I look out, and Pearl is taking the tomato off the vine, and I'm like, oh. I go running out of the house, and I chased this dog around the neighborhood, which was normal, and I got half my tomato back. And I thought, oh, this will be a cute column. And so for the Vindicator, I wrote a column about it and everything. But at the time, I was still working as a news photographer, and I was in Ohio. You work inside the courts, and you get to know the judges and the bailiffs and everything. In fact, I played pool with the judge at a watering hole across from the Vindicator, and so the judge was there, and it's a really serious trial, and I'm standing there below the judge with this big long lens and everything, and the judge looks down at me and he just says, you ate the other half of that tomato, didn't you? And I said, Your Honor, I have to tell the truth. I'm in court. Yeah, I ate the other half of that tomato. That was my first heirloom tomato. And so that's the story of Pearl. I put that story into
So what happened to Pearl?
She just got old and
she lived a good life.
Away. Yeah, she was a great dog.
Oh, they're a great dog.
Kind of aloof and always doing that. Like if the door was just slightly open,
energy. That's high.
She'd be out, and she would herd you. She would herd you.
Mm-hmm.
She was a good dog, a great dog.
I do that same thing when the door opens. I just
yeah,
bolt.
you bolt.
I bolt. All right, let's get Joe in Swickley. He wants to talk spring bulbs. Hey, Joe. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Doug, I'm the guy that called a couple of weeks ago that has the bulbs in the garage, and you told me to just let them go. But my follow-up is, do I water them? Do I keep them damp? What do I do from here?
Well, we start with them being moist, and over the winter, for the most part, we're just leaving them be. I would look at the soil and see how it is. If it's super dry, stick your finger down as far as you can get in there. If it's super dry, just give it a little bit of water. You're really concerned with the amount of moisture in there. Too much is really going to mess those bulbs up. They're going to rot. For the most part, if that soil was pretty much evenly moist, not soaking wet, it could sit that way all winter and the plants will be fine. It's kind of the same thing when I was talking about that winter sowing. When I have that container, I turn the lid on, I put the lid on it, but I'm not taping it up. Yeah, it's not completely closed, but your things aren't going to dry out. They're basically going to freeze. And so I'm interested to see how those do for you, Joe. Those are going to be, I think you're going to have a great spring with those in the garage. I think you're going to do good.
I'll call you back in March. Thank you.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, real quick before we get to a break, so a lot of people getting rid of their Christmas trees. I was really shocked to find out that a lot of people actually use them as mulch to protect plants on the outside this time of year.
Lots of different ways that they recycle the Christmas trees. One way is for fishermen. There's different lakes you can take them to, and they drag them out on the ice, and then when it melts, that becomes habitat for fish.
Oh, wow.
Also, people will use them for habitat for birds and like a little bit of a place for the rabbits. But, yeah, they'll grind them up into mulch, and then you use them as mulch on your whatever, your trees, your shrubs, whatever. Real quick. Well, you know what? When we come back, let's talk all about mulching and mulching the right way. The number one thing when you're going to use this mulch is that it does not touch the bottom of the plant. And so I've got a good example. Actually, when I drive out of here every day, I got a good example.
You can't let that go, can you?
No, I'm not letting that go because every time I drive out there, I see it.
It's annoying to Doug.
Yes.
All
and
right.
Anybody else who loves trees.
Volcano.
That's it.
All right.
You've learned.
Yes, I have. All right. It only took 21 years, but I'm working on it. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Doug wants to hear from you. What's your gardening question? Something you're looking forward to planting maybe for the first time in a couple of months. 866-391-1020.
Support St. Anthony school programs and help students with special needs achieve their full potential through inclusive education, therapy sessions, and job skills development. Serving students ages 5 through 21 with Down syndrome, autism, and other intellectual disabilities. Find St. Anthony school programs within select Catholic schools in the Pittsburgh area, including a post-secondary program at Duquesne University. For over 70 years, they have empowered students of all faiths to live independently and contribute meaningfully to society. Learn more or donate at stanthonykids.org.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Providers. Speak with Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-352-9239. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-352-9239. 800-352-9239 or biglou.com.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know, taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life. Your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It is 23 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 7:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife are now in a federal jail in New York City following their stunning removal from power. And just ahead of Monday's arraignment on narco-trafficking and drug charges, here's the latest from CBS's Ali Bauman.
Federal authorities tell us this is being handled like the bust of a drug kingpin. Venezuela's strongman Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores arrived in New York, stepping onto American soil chained and shackled, surrounded by a small army of FBI agents and heavily armed DEA officers.
And Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth spoke to CBS Evening News about the action.
If people understood what Venezuela was trafficking in with other adversaries, weapons they were trafficking, and then, of course, the drugs and the cartels, the poisoning of the American people, the violence, Tren de Aragua that have been brought to our shores, all three of those combined together in this bold and courageous action.
President Trump saying at a press conference on Saturday that the U.S. would, quote, run Venezuela during this transition period. The senators from Pennsylvania reacting to the capture of the Venezuelan leader, the Republican Senator Dave McCormick, saying in part in a release, quote, for years, Maduro's regime killed our children by flooding America's streets with poison, threatened our borders, and undermined U.S. national security. I urge what's left of the Maduro regime to honor the will of the Venezuelan people and transition peacefully to rightfully elected leadership. Democratic Senator John Fetterman released a statement saying, quote, grateful for our U.S. military personnel that handled these orders in Venezuela with precision. I maintain that we have the strongest and most lethal military in the world. Today proves that even more, end quote. 4 people are injured following a house fire early this morning in West Mifflin. That fire began around 3 o'clock this morning at a home on Wood Street. No word on the conditions of those who were hurt. No word on what caused that fire. Police at Aliquippa investigating a stabbing at the Valley Terrace Apartments. This incident happened around 9 o'clock Saturday night. A 24-year-old man was found with a stab wound to the abdomen. He was transported to the hospital. Police say they arrested 21-year-old Judea Wincup in connection with the stabbing. KDKA Radio News Time is 7:33. The AccuWeather forecast coming up.
What a wonderful time of year for family and friends. And we at Sorgels want to thank all of you for your support and patronage for our family business throughout the year. And I personally want to say thank you to our great staff and all of you listeners for supporting the Organic Gardening Show and gardening itself. We look forward to serving you in 2026 with new and exciting ideas and plants, as well as the traditional gardening practices. And as you think of next year, visit our new pre-order website called reserveandroot.com. And we will be taking our family time again this year from December 25th until Tuesday, January 13th. And of course, if you need something that I can help you with, just email me at randysorgel@gmail.com. So from our family to yours, have a happy, safe holiday season, and we'll see you in January. Thanks again from all of us at Sorgels.
This is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking. I lost 70 pounds and my friend lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months.
Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar, Lose the Weight or Stop Smoking, only $59.99. Hypnosis, Sunday, January 11th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh, West and Green Tree. Weight loss hypnosis, 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today may bring a flurry in some spots to start the day. Otherwise, it looks to be cloudy with a high of 30. Those clouds generally hang tough for tonight with a low of 23. And tomorrow looks cloudy as well, but much less cold with a high of 45. Then clouds on Tuesday yield a bit of afternoon rain, high 49. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, here we go. Big weekend. We'll be back on Monday to talk about all things. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. Catch you on Monday. Right here, KDK.
Yeah, the whole crew back tomorrow. Marty will be in the morning. Larry is off. He's working late on that PA system over there at the Steelers game tonight. And then Mr. Bartley will be in for him, and then I after Colin Dunlap. So tomorrow, Corey O'Connor gets sworn in, 62nd Mayor, City of Pittsburgh. We'll have complete coverage of that. Joe Mystic, tomorrow night, John Delano with me as well, and we'll continue to follow this Venezuelan story. All right, if you are the 10th caller at 412-922-1020, you will win yourself a $25 gift certificate to Janoski's. I was thinking about Sorgels and Janoski's and all of our sponsors. This is kind of getaway time for them. They kind of relax and rest and get ready to get recharged because they work very hard, do they not, at these places?
Yes, I couldn't imagine having to work that hard. When you go there and you see they're there all the time. They're from open to close. And growing plants is not easy work, and it's all dependent on the weather. I for both of us, that those times we spend in the fields at Sorgels or Janoski's where you see what they're doing and how much there is, how many rows of tomatoes and to get the first get the first tomatoes of the year. That's important. The first sweet corn of the year. That all has to be planned in advance. So it's nice they get a little break here in the winter until it all starts up again. I mean, those greenhouses will start up here pretty soon when you get longer days and a little bit more mild temperatures. I'm happy to see some milder temperatures coming because I'm getting too old for winter, and nobody wants to hear anybody complain about the weather, especially my wife. And I was complaining yesterday. Mary Hours came on, and I was like, "Oh, I can't." She's like, "It's only 2 more days." I'm like,
"Relax,
okay,
get over it." All right, so let's talk more about mulching.
Yeah. So one of the things they'll use the pine trees for, Christmas trees for, is they'll grind them up and make mulch out of them. When you're using a wood-based mulch like that, what it does is as it decomposes, it robs the soil of nitrogen, but as it does decompose, then it puts that nitrogen back in, but it's not immediate. And so a lot of times when we use a wood-based wood chips or pine mulch like that, we like to give the plants, and this is later in the season, this is when we get to April, we want to give them a little bit of help, a little bit of fertilizer, and a little bit on the nitrogen side. When you do mulch anything, as I said, don't touch the bottom. And so the thing that Rob is talking about is when I drive out of here, for the 20 years, I've been looking across the street when I come to the light, and they had this volcano mulch on this big oak tree. I mean, just ridiculous, like 6 feet of mulch underneath it, right up against the bark. And now all that's left there is just like a big hump, a big mound of where the tree used to be, because that's how you kill a tree. Planting it too deep and then mulching like that volcano mulch. The mulch doesn't touch the bottom. It looks like a donut, not a volcano. And I know I say this all the time, but it's for everybody. It might be somebody just passing by listening to the show. If you're a longtime listener, you're probably just like, "Oh, volcano mulch, give me a break." But it's important. It's important to mulch the right way. And besides what they do with the Christmas tree mulch, we get triple shredded and double shredded. And the difference is a lot of people love the look of the triple shredded. It's finer, but it breaks down so much quicker because it is, it's shredded 3 times instead of 2. I was actually talking to Eric Countryman from Davy Tree the other day, and I was saying, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the triple or the double shredded? That's when you're talking to a couple tree nerds, like you're talking about the type of mulch. And he says he likes the double shredded. And then kind of fix it up here throughout the year. Give it a little bit of rake so that the water goes through it. It's always a great idea to mulch. But this time of the year, actually, the number one job is getting ready for the season and planning. And one thing is, this is a good time while the ground is hard to bring in some compost. We talk about compost all the time on the show, and compost is what gives you the green thumb. And so by adding compost and just pouring it on top of your beds, wherever they might be, is going to be a positive. Every time it snows, every time it rains, those nutrients are going to leach down into the soil. Having compost on top on a bed gets you in there earlier. And we're already starting to think about that. Where are we? January, 3rd, 4th? March 17th, we'll be planting our peas. But well before that, we'll be planting all sorts of other stuff. And so having those beds ready, having compost on there, I talked about this before. I did a speaking engagement for a group, and they didn't have a lot of funds. It was a small group, a small library group up in the north, and they were just like, well, would you do it for manure? I'm like, yes, I will do it for a truckload of manure. So I'm working that out. As soon as I get back from Baltimore, I'm going to put that well-aged manure on and compost well-aged manure. But when we're talking about animal manures, it has to be well-aged. It has to be a year old. There's stuff in there that plants can't grow in or that could be dangerous for you. But as long as it's rotted down and well-aged. One time I was on with Larry and when John was with them, and they're just like, well, how do you know if it's well-aged? I just said, you'll know it. You'll know it.
One sniff.
Yeah. But you ask the people, wherever you're getting this from, you're just like, well, how has this been here for? And they'll be like, yeah, that's a pile that's been there for like 3 years. And just putting a layer out all over the garden is going to make everything easier for you. You can plant something in really bad soil and fertilize it and water it and get it to produce vegetables, get it to flower. But it's so much easier to put a nice layer of compost down or into a planting hole and put that plant in there, mulch it, water it, and just walk away, and you're good to go. That's the way I want my garden to be. Low maintenance. I don't want to have to baby plants. I have talked about this hellebore that I love. The common name is winter rose or Christmas rose. And it's a plant that's blooming right now. And as we're warming up here again, those flowers sat there during that really cold weather, and they're just in suspended animation. And now when it warms up, this plant is going to continue to bloom. And people have been telling me, because I was saying, go find one at the store now. Overwinter it, like on the windowsill or in a sun porch or something like that. It's a perennial that is sold as a holiday plant. And so people are telling me all the time where they're going out. They're finding them at nurseries. They're finding them at like Trader Joe's. They're finding them at the box stores. It's they call it like I said, winter rose, Christmas rose. And it just, again, this is one of these things that becomes a mission for me where you've got a plant that they want you just to put on your windowsill for 3 weeks for the holidays and then throw it into a compost pile where if you could get it to winter over, which is no big deal, and then stick it in the ground in the spring, next November it's going to bloom. Having something bloom in November and then into January, to have flowers in the garden in January.
It's a treat.
Oh, it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. By the time I walk the dogs by there, I look down at those flowers, and some that have already bloomed, they're starting to fade to pink. You know, it's a white, creamy white flower. And the other thing that's in the garden right now that's still doing its thing is the flowering kale and the pansies. I just photographed the pansies and the flowering kale the other day for a story for Mount Lebanon for the Green Voice, which is part of Pittsburgh Earth Day. It's a online thing I write for, and just talking about the things that are left in the garden that have color, and it's just wonderful to have color, to have something blooming in the winter.
All right, we're going to take a break. We got to get a break, but real quick, Andy and you teaming up with this new soil.
Yeah, Coast of Maine. I've known the man behind Coast of Maine for nearly 30 years. I'm going to see him in Baltimore, actually. I can't wait to talk to him. Yeah, but I came here yesterday before Andy was on the show, and I buy like stuff to treat the driveway. And he told me that he's gone into business with Coast of Maine, which is a great organic soil amendment. It's the top of the line, and Coast of Maine, it's just I use it. I've been using it forever. It is great stuff, organic, and I've been growing my garlic in that Coast of Maine stuff, and the garlic's going nuts in it. So I'm going to do a story with them, and then when the time is right, I'm going to be with Andy at EV True Value with some special deals for Coast to Maine soil amendments. He's got all sorts of cool stuff. He was so excited. I'm so excited. And I can't wait. That's one of my first things I'm going to do when I go to Baltimore. I'm going to go see my friends at Coast to Maine and say, hey, we're going to be doing some work together. It's awesome.
All I do is make everybody stars. They make the money, and I continue to grind.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Coming up, a look at sports. Big game tonight. And then, of course, we're going to talk to you more about gardening next hour. All-time favorite recipes. We'll discuss them all on the Coons Cooking Hour on KDKA.
When you need to know, depend on the news leader. At home, in your car, or at work. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM, AM 1020, and KDKARadio.com. News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations that serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Pitt lost to Clemson College basketball yesterday, 73-68, and it was Penn State losing to Illinois, 73-65. Duquesne lost to Virginia Commonwealth, 93-80. Robert Morris taking on Oakland on the road at 3 o'clock. Penn's their 4th win in a row. They beat Detroit 4-1. Today they dropped the puck against Columbus on the road at 3. And in the NFL yesterday, Tampa Bay a winner over Carolina, 16-14. They have to get New Orleans to defeat Atlanta to win the NFC South. If Atlanta defeats New Orleans, it's Carolina that can claim the conference championship. And Seattle now is the number 1 overall team ranked in the NFC. They get a first-round bye. They win the NFC West as they defeat the 49ers. Last night, the final 13-3. Steelers are a 3.5-point underdog against Baltimore. Winner against the AFC North crown tonight in Pittsburgh. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
It used to be the sole function for a kitchen was food preparation. We cooked in the kitchen and we dined in the dining room. But times have changed. And although today the kitchen is still where we cook, it's also where we share meals, have an important family conversation, and even help the kids with their homework.
That's right. Today's kitchens are multi-use areas and should be designed accordingly. And that's where we come in. Petite Kitchen and Bath will make your new kitchen a warm and inviting place for family and guests alike. We'll make it supremely functional and beautiful.
You know, they say the heart of any home is the family kitchen. Make your kitchen great. Discover why generations of satisfied customers have chosen Petite Kitchen and Bath Design Center.
Visit our showroom on Route 50 or call us at 412-279-2222. Haven't you waited long enough?
PA 625.
Officer, can I get your perspective as a man of the law?
You know I'm a mall cop, right?
You see this Hyundai Santa Fe? I only paid for it.
Whoa.
Right? I'm not in trouble, am I?
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid models. Now, during the final days of the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offers end January 5th. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Doug Oster tells you how to keep it green. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM at AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, here we go. It's Susan in Natrona Heights wanting to talk his favorite topic, tomatoes. How are you, Susan?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, my question is, at the end of the season last year, my tomatoes developed black spots. And I didn't research. I just picked them, cut all that black off, and, you know, sometimes it was a half a tomato, threw it in a bag in the freezer. Then I did research, and everything I've seen said don't use the tomatoes.
So let's.
Are they safe for me to use?
Well, let's first talk about what type of black spots we're talking about. Are we talking about a big black spot on the bottom, or are we talking about little black spots around the tomato?
Little black spots around the tomato.
Okay,
And they started they almost looked like a bruise, and then they developed into this.
Okay, so that's probably a fungal issue called anthracnose, and you can eat the tomatoes. The only thing you wouldn't want to do, you wouldn't want to save the seeds to plant for next year because you might be perpetuating that fungal issue. But it's okay to eat them. Don't worry about that. How was your season otherwise with those tomatoes?
Well, we went away and we came back to 36 volunteer tomatoes in our 8-foot-long raised beds, and we left them in. So we had I couldn't give them away. Even my neighbors were tired of seeing me come over.
That's a good problem to have.
Tomatoes.
That's a good problem to have.
It was wonderful. It was a great season for us last year.
Was it a tomato jungle?
It was. And do you think that's what caused it, or is there something I need to do so that we don't perpetuate that in the soil?
Well, there are a couple things you can do, and one of the problems was, first off, it was the cool, wet spring. That's basically what did it. But the other thing is, when they're really close together like that, the fungal issues are a problem for tomatoes, and so that's what happened. But I would actually blame it more on what the spring was like, because it was wet and cool. And I talked about this before. I was traveling and had to get my tomatoes in too early, and they really took a beating with fungal issues because of that. And so you would rather, instead of having 36 there, you would probably want to have fewer tomatoes, giving them some air giving them some air circulation. But I think though that's great to have all those tomatoes. Though that I can't believe I can't believe that neighbors didn't want them anymore.
Well, the ones that did the best were the little grape tomatoes. And so I just think everybody, we were all trying to figure out new recipes, and we came up with some good ones. So, yeah.
What do you think what do you think the best way that you used the tomatoes was? What was your best way to use them? Raw or in a recipe or?
My husband doesn't eat them raw. I leave a bowl sit on the counter and just take a handful as I walk by.
Mm-hmm.
The little grapes.
Yeah, they're great.
The ones that are in the freezer, I want to make into sauce though, and then either refreeze it or can it. Do you still think it'll be safe to do that?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
At a time?
Don't worry about it. It's nothing.
Okay.
It's nothing that can hurt you. You'll be fine. And
okay.
Make a nice sauce and use it on some pasta, and you'll be in good shape. You'll get that great fresh tomato flavor. Thanks so much for your call. I want to get one more call before we're done with the show here.
All right, Rudy in the North Hills for Doug Oster. Hi, Rudy.
Hi, how you guys doing today?
Good.
I wanted to ask Doug a question about apple trees. I'm starting a lot of apple trees from seed, and it's from the Gala type of apple. And I've got probably about 30 trees here growing here. How large do you personally like the tree before you put it in its final place?
Well, first thing you have to know is that it's not going to be an exact duplicate of Gala. Gala is a hybrid, so you're not really sure what you're going to get.
Right.
In the spring, any size sapling will work. If it's 6 inches tall. How big are they going to be when we get to April, you think?
These are probably about 3 inches right now. I have them in flower pots. And then I have one that's exceptional. It's about 2.5 feet.
That one's going to be ready to go in when we get to the early spring. The other ones I would be tempted to start them what we call a nursery bed, which is just an area outside that we make a real nice bed for. We put the smaller ones, we take them out of that pot, we put them into that nursery bed. They grow in there, and when they get to the right size, a little bit bigger, like that 2.5 foot size, maybe bigger, in the fall we put them into their permanent location, and that will be good to go. Why?
Are you familiar with the story of the Golden Delicious apple?
I am not.
Well, the Golden Delicious apple was something that came about very, very late in history. I can't remember the dates or anything like that, but for the longest time, the Golden Delicious was never found anywhere in particular. It just came about when someone happened upon one of them, and they thought it was very unusual. And I think what happened there is there were several different types of apples growing close to one another that produced this unique Golden Delicious apple.
And there's nothing quite like a delicious golden apple.
Rudy, we're out of time, but I would love to hear how this plays out and what kind of apples you get off there. Happy New Year, everyone. Rob, 21 years together.
Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going for another, well, at least this year. I don't know.
That's right.
That's probably long enough. Rob actually lives here. I didn't know. I just come visit once an hour.
My holiday will start Wednesday night. It's been a very long, but very fruitful month. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, I've enjoyed listening.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up now. You know what to do. Come on. You don't know that off by heart?
Remember, organic gardeners, you make our world brighter and safer. With each seed you sow and every garden you grow.
All right, news coming up next.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
And one of the things that you've heard a lot about, especially toward the second half of last year, is changes in the healthcare world. CEO of MediConnect, we know him very well, Lance O'Brien.
Things get really, really difficult for some people. So who's being impacted the most? One is early retirees, and usually your middle class.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Happy New Year and more great savings to start the year at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank Dentisi?
Right, Rob. In our meat department, 85% lean fresh ground round, $4.99 a pound, and frozen George's chicken wing sections, 4-pound bags, $9.99 each. In the produce department, extra large slicing tomatoes, 99 cents a pound, and California iceberg lettuce, 2 heads for $3. In our bakery department, assorted fruit-filled mini Danish, 10-count packages, $5.50 each. And in our deli department, Lamagna mozzarella or provolone cheese is $4.99 a pound, and Made Fresh Daily street tacos, 3-count package, $5.99 each. Additional savings this week: Green Mountain K-Cups, 10-count package, $5.99 each, and Lean Cuisine Classics or Features, 5 to 11.5 ounce packages, buy 4, get 1 free with your Coons Reward Card.
So start the new year off with great savings at Coons Market. Coons Market, a special place in your neighborhood, a Pittsburgh tradition.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Providers. Speak with Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-352-9239. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-352-9239. 800-352-9239 or biglou.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 23 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 8 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 4 people were hurt following a house fire early this morning in West Mifflin. That fire began around 3 o'clock this morning at a home on Wood Street. No word on the conditions of those who were hurt. Right now, no word on what caused that fire. Police in Aliquippa are investigating a stabbing at the Valley Terrace Apartments. The incident happened around 9 o'clock Saturday night. A 24-year-old man was found with a stab wound to the abdomen. He was transported to the hospital. Police say they arrested 21-year-old Judea Wincoop in connection to the stabbing. Well, deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife are now in a federal jail in New York City following their stunning removal from power. And just ahead of Monday's arraignment on narco-trafficking and drug charges, here's CBS's Ali Bauman.
Federal authorities tell us this is being handled like the bust of a drug kingpin. Venezuela's strongman Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores arrived in New York, stepping onto American soil chained and shackled, surrounded by a small army of FBI agents and heavily armed DEA officers.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth spoke with CBS Evening News about the action.
If people understood what Venezuela was trafficking in with other adversaries, weapons they were trafficking, and then, of course, the drugs and the cartels, the poisoning of the American people, the violence, Tren de Aragua that have been brought to our shores, all 3 of those combined together in this bold and courageous action.
President Trump saying in the press conference yesterday that the U.S. would, quote, run Venezuela during this transition period. Well, the U.S. senators, from Pennsylvania, reacting to the capture of the Venezuelan leader. Republican Senator Dave McCormick released a statement saying, in part, quote, "For years, Maduro's regime killed our children by flooding America's streets with poison, threatened our borders, and undermined U.S. national security. I urge what's left of the Maduro regime to honor the will of the Venezuelan people and transition peacefully to rightfully elected leadership," end quote. Democratic Senator John Fetterman released a statement saying, quote, "Grateful for our U.S. military personnel that handled these orders in Venezuela with precision. I maintain that we have the strongest and most lethal military in the world. Today proves that even more," end quote. A rollover crash on I-70 sent one person to the hospital. The crash happened in Washington County on Saturday afternoon. One person who was in that vehicle that rolled over was flown to a local hospital. No word on that person's condition this morning. Cause of the crash is under investigation. KDK Radio News Time is 8:03. We have the AccuWeather forecast next.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and lose the weight, only $59.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late-day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Stop smoking with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. No matter how many times you tried to quit, this hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Sunday, January 11th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh West and Green Tree. Weight loss 11 a.m. Registration 10:30. Stop smoking 2 p.m. Registration 1:30. MarkPatrickSeminars.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
There may be a flurry around to start the day today. Otherwise, it looks rather cloudy for the second half of the weekend with a high of 30. Those clouds stick around for tonight, low 23. Before the chill breaks for tomorrow with plenty of clouds and a high of 45. Tuesday also looks to be mostly cloudy with some afternoon rain arriving, high 49. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following program is paid for by Coons Quality Market. This is the Coons Cooking Hour. The crew from Coons Market are here. It's the great food you grew up with and the recipes that make Pittsburgh someplace special.
It's all-time favorites. So whatever's your favorite, we want to hear from you. Those recipes, give us a call, 866-391-1020. and someone's going to take home a $25 gift certificate before this hour is up. But we begin talking to Frank Dentisi. We got an epic football game tonight, AccuShore Stadium, winner take all. But we've got everything you need for that tailgate party, whether you're headed to AccuShore a little early or you're going to be doing something at home. So, Frank, let's begin talking cafe, McKnight Road, Banksville Road, grab-and-go food, the best meat department anywhere on the planet. And today is National Spaghetti Day, and we have delicious pasta. We have ground meat, lean, delicious, fresh ground meat to roll into those meatballs and more. So if you're thinking football and tailgate food, home or away, you should be thinking Coons Market. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it just makes you hungry thinking about the game. What are you going to have with the game?
Oh, man.
You got to have a good snack, all that nervous energy near the end of the game because it's going to be a close game.
It is.
And, you have to have something to snack on. I think you were telling me this morning was that it's National Pasta Day.
It is Spaghetti Day.
Spaghetti Day. So, pick up some fresh ground round, $4.99 a pound, get some meatballs. You can make some spaghetti, make extra meatballs because then you can have some meatball hoagies for the game as well. And the George's chicken wings as well on sale. We have a $9.99 for a 4-pound bag. And great time to pick up some wings, getting ready for game day. Of course, the cafes. You pick up your favorite beer, microbrews, your different hard seltzers, hard ciders, even wine at the 2 stores, Banksville and McKnight. And, of course, all the snack chips that we have. My favorite's the hint of lime, Totito's tortilla chips. You ever had those?
Oh, yeah.
They're delicious. And pick up some of that Chuck and Dave's fresh salsa over in and we carry it in the deli department near our cheese shop and all of our different dips and hummuses. We carry that salsa and just a nice, fresher flavor. Less tomato sauce, more just cut up tomatoes and seasoning and spices, and just all different varieties.
What has happened to me? So I opened the cabinet last night at my house in the kitchen about 11 o'clock, got finished with the NFL. I have 10 bags of Snyder Hanover pretzels, 4 Bellevue jalapeno mustard containers, and 4 French's and 4 Heinz mustards. I have like 12 mustards that have not been opened and 10 bags of pretzels. I think I've gone over to the dark side, the deep end.
Well, we had some windy days and we could have had a power outage, so you're set. And you don't have to worry about the fridge. That's all shelf stable. You're ready to go.
Listen.
So if we do lose power, we can go over to Rob's house. We're safe.
Somebody right now saying, no wonder I can't find any of those pretzels at Coons Market. He's hoarding them. But can I tell you, and I told Frank this earlier, and Jody knows it, Patrice knows it, everyone knows it, Joey, his brother, knows it, the family that is the Dentisi, Zimas, Sakudas, and of course our working people that we love at Coons Market, our great employees. I love this grocery business. There's so much. It's just so exciting to be a part of it. I actually find it therapeutic because it's real. I like getting the flyer. I like just talking about pricing. I like to walk up and down the aisles. And I don't care. I go to the competition to see what's going on all the time. But let me tell you something. Our meat department, if you're thinking of throwing a steak on the grill today, or you want to make a meatloaf, or you want some of that best dressed chicken, or you want something from our hot deli, such as those fish sandwiches, chicken, fried chicken, there's no one comes close to the meat department, seafood department, the deli at Coons Market. That's our signature. That's our trifecta, Frank.
Well, it is, and part of it is listening to your mentors. And I worked with my Uncle Tom, who ran the meat departments and the deli departments, and just keeping things quality, fresh, do things the right way, don't cut corners. Don't cut quality just to get a price for somebody, because that you're doing them a disservice. By giving them a lesser quality when they're actually expecting the better quality you usually carry. And so we that's what we stick with. We keep cutters in the stores. A lot of it helps for people that want custom cuts, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that saw that during the holidays. You want it, even for myself, I bought a rib roast. Well, I can go right up to a meat cutter, right up to the meat manager at McKnight, George Ott, who's our meat manager up there, and I go right up to him and tell him how many ribs do you want. So I said, give me a 5 rib roast, and that's what I got. It's not just walk in there and hope something's in the case that's going to fit me the best. Most of the time there is something that's going to fit you, but sometimes you need that something custom, especially for holidays, and we can still handle that. We're grinding whole primals when When it says ground round, that's because that's what we ground. And we ground the round of the animal. We ground the chuck of the animal to be able to get that kept fresh. And we're able to do in small batches so that we can keep it fresh out in the case. So those kind of things make a big difference in departments. Seafood we're buying off of it comes out of Philly every single night. So when we place our order, then the next morning it is sitting there fresh in our store, just getting dropped off. When we place that order, they take a whole fish and they cut the fillets and then they ship it over to us. So it doesn't get any fresher. The same company that we use to supply our seafood is the same that supplies the best seafood restaurants here in Pittsburgh. So it just tells you, the quality what people are looking for. You're in Pittsburgh, you are a distance from the ocean, so you need somewhere that's going to get a nice fast delivery service as fresh as possible, which is the way we went. In the deli department, we carry boar's head. Why? We had customer demand for it. We had people looking for a quality deli meat, and that just all that did was bring in that quality deli meat and put into the nationally people know the quality, but they don't know the quality.
But you know the quality.
Smiths and Silver Stars and the Isleys that are out there that we already carried, and then we went and expanded beyond to the national one as well.
Let me jump in here. We got some phones, but I want to get Rob in the mix. Rob Taylor, he's in there reading the new Pittsburgh Courier, Beulah Road, Highwood Street. You can pick it up. I just want to talk to you real quick. We did a lot during the Gainey administration with that paper. We'll do a lot with the Corey O'Connor administration getting sworn in tomorrow, 62nd Mayor, City of Pittsburgh. KDKA will have all sorts of coverage. Rob's the managing editor there, does a great job here for us as well. So I'm sure the Courier is going to be all over this Corey O'Connor administration too, right?
Yeah, we'll be there tomorrow morning, and it's just a continuation of what the how the city of Pittsburgh will evolve. We obviously covered the first African-American mayor in Pittsburgh history, Ed Gainey. And one of the things that he ran on was the fact that he, wanted to really lower homicides in the city.
And that has happened.
And it's been documented that in 2025, there were 35 homicides in the city of Pittsburgh, the lowest since 1989. So as he exits office, we'll see exactly how the new administration deals with a number of issues that affect not only everybody in the city of Pittsburgh, but from a Courier perspective, the African-American community and the almost 70,000 African-Americans that live within the city.
By the way, that's the lowest since 1989, so pretty impressive. That's good stuff. You don't want to lose anybody, but when the numbers go down, that's a good thing. New Pittsburgh Courier, the paper that is truly about our city. You can pick it up at Coons Market, Highwood Street on the north side, and also Beulah Road. What do you say we take a couple of phone calls before we go to break? So it's your all-time favorites, and I've brought a few to the table. Meatloaf, chocolate chip cookies, macaroni and cheese, apple pie, fried chicken, biscuit and sausage gravy, chicken pot pie this time of year, Frank. Nothing better.
No, definitely nothing better. And switch to turkey if you had leftover turkey for Thanksgiving or Christmas, especially Christmas, if you froze it for Thanksgiving. But if you had Christmas leftovers still, you can put them into there. You can cut up some of the pork and put it into a pot pie. There's a lot you can use up in the pot pies. Rotisserie chickens work out great. Even cut up some of the beef, any leftovers, really leftover vegetables. There's no rules.
Like father, like son. So one of the things that his dad was famous for, and he always gave me two, I don't know why, carry cough drops. I carry cough drops, but I just looked over, and it's unbelievable. I always basically would get the bag, snip off the top, fold it over, put it in my briefcase. But your dad always carried them in a plastic bag. And there you are with cough drops in a plastic bag. Well, like father, like son.
That's my wife helping me out. I'm getting a scratchy throat, and she was too, but she had a really big thing of cough drops. I said, you mind if you can fill a baggie
Look at
for
that.
me?
That's what your dad used to do.
She loaded me up ready for the coming today. So, it's winter. You get dry throat, scratchy throat. This is the time
He's still
rely on those.
He's still with us. Here's Marianne in Mount Lebanon. It's all about your all-time favorites. Go ahead, Marianne.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm wondering why the Coons does not put the, I can't think of it now, the fried chicken on sale like they used to, and I'm looking for the meatloaf mix. They would occasionally put that on sale, and we use that a lot.
Meatloaf mix and fried chicken. So
yeah, I've mixed in the meatloaf mix a couple times. During the holidays, it's a little harder to put the fried chicken on, only because we're maxed out. But I can tell you, just comparing competitors' prices out there, we've had the best price on it to begin with. So it didn't make, not that, we're looking to show people that. But as we get out now, the holidays, Thanksgiving to Christmas, and for me, I never realized how many people ordered fried chicken, but it was a time saver when they have people over and all that. You always think of it for summer. But yeah, now as we're coming into January, February, and we'll start getting some of we usually will do the 8-piece that we'll put on sale. And I'll talk to Clint as well. He's a newer for us for the deli supervisor to start putting get the 8-piece back out there now that we're through the holidays.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call, Marion. We'll do our best. Okay, Keith in Moon Township. It's all of those all-time favorites. Whatever your favorites are, why, and give us a call. And also, if you were having an all-Pittsburgh tailgate party, you might have Isley's. You might have Iron City Beer. What are some of the ones, Silver Star, you might have that are really a Pittsburgh connection to a real tailgate? Because it's for everything tonight. The title, the AFC North Conference Championship on the line tonight when the Steelers are 3.5-point underdog host Baltimore. Winner will advance. Loser goes home. All Pittsburgh tailgate. What would you think would be on the menu? 866-391-1020. We'll be back.
Your source for the AccuWeather forecast. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-747-7676. 800-747-7676. Again, that's 800-747-7676.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Here he is, Keith in Moon Township. Keith, love the show. How are you? Good morning. Hey.
Rob, Frank. You there?
Yeah, we're there.
Go.
We're wondering where you are.
I didn't touch nothing. Miss that big old middle linebacker, Joe, but still love the show.
Well, we love you.
I hope the spirit in the sky can step up there and help us plug some of them holes so that old Derrick Henry can't run wild and crazy over us.
You know, I've always been a homer. I'm always leaning in on the Steelers, but I don't have a good feeling about this one tonight. I hope I'm wrong, but I think the season's going to probably come to an end, even though I'm going to go with the Steelers. If it was a 3-point spread, maybe not, but 3.5, I'll take it because I am loyal. But, Keith, it's going to be a tall task. But I do know one thing. If we're going to go out, we might as well go out on a full belly and get all sorts of good food today at Coons Market. Because if it's the last game, we might as well go out with a bang. Right, Frank?
There you go. You know, break out the grill today. Throw something on the grill.
Yeah.
Pretend it's the beginning of the season. Whatever it's going to be. You know it's going to be a rough and tough game. And they're going to have T.J. Watt back in there. Hopefully that helps that defense, because even if he doesn't get a sack, they have to watch him, meaning they're not watching somebody else. So hopefully they're able to stop them. If you keep sacking them like that, put them on edge.
And listen, don't pick on TJ. Don't needle him today.
No.
Be nice. I'm glad to have him back. But you know what? No DK Metcalf. I don't even want to get into it. We'll save that for the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. Here's Joan in the North Hills on the Coons Cooking Hour. Hey, Joan.
Oh, hi. Thank you for taking my call.
You too.
My recipe is for cake mix cookies. What you need is one typical, size box of any flavor cake mix. You'll need a half a cup of oil, 2 eggs, a half a teaspoon of salt is optional. What you do is you mix the oil and the eggs first and the salt. You blend them. You would mix them thoroughly, and then you add in your 1 box of cake mix. All you do is mix it together, drop it onto a cookie sheet, and put it in the oven for 350 for 10 minutes. You can top it with any kind of sprinkles or icing. It's really easy for something quick. If you have company coming or children, it's very easy. I love it.
I love that. It sounds
like
delicious.
I'd always make sure I have some in the already baked off, but I'm sure they go fast.
So, Joan, when you were growing up, what was like a favorite? Your mother said, hey, I'm making this tonight. You just couldn't wait to take the first bite. What was it as a kid growing up?
Oh, my God. I'm glad you brought that up. My mother made the best potato dumplings with pork and sauerkraut. She was Bohemian. So we loved that. We would eat potato dumplings until we couldn't move.
How cool is that? Your mother was Bohemian. That's neat.
Yes. Yes, she was. Yes.
From the Bahamas. That's wonderful.
No, not from the Bahamas. Not from the Bahamas.
Where was she from?
From Prague. They were.
Okay.
Yes, from the old country. I can't think. I'm all nervous right now.
Don't be nervous. That's really way back. That's the old country.
Yes, my dad was from Australia. My mother's family was from Prague. So. Yeah, and then she was a wonderful, wonderful cook.
And that's the food that really stuck to your ribs, did it not? That was comfort food.
Yes. So, but if anybody out there knows how to do potato dumplings, my hat's off to them, because it's not an easy recipe, and it took her a long time to make those.
But you couldn't wait to have them, I bet, huh?
That's true. This is very true.
And real quick, not to get on a downer here, but, when you get out of the holidays and you start revving up for another year, you can't help but think back, and obviously thinking a lot about Joe and Janet, Frank's parents that were so close to me, but been thinking a lot about my parents, and I don't know how old you are, Joan, but isn't it amazing, all of these people that are not a part of our life, as soon as you mention something that you really were like endearing to them, like their cooking, it's almost like they're still here. That cooking still resonates all these years later, right?
That is true. And actually, she was from the Czech Republic. And, a portion of that is called Bohemia. So, and she was from the area of Prague. So It was a very beautiful area. And you're right, around the holidays especially, the cooking and smelling the sauerkraut brings back memories.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Hey, have a happy New Year, and I hope you'll call again. Always nice to get a new caller. 866-391-1020. How about something else, too? Chili. When I think about days like today, you put a big vat of chili on, you have it around 4 or 5 o'clock, then you have some leftovers during the game, but you can get some hot dogs, some Silver Star hot dogs, put on some of that chili to have something during the game, a little bit extra that kind of ties into tailgating. So chili is as versatile can be.
Oh, yeah, and everyone, if you're making your own chili, everybody has a different recipe. I've even had chili at, when I'm at a restaurant, I always try to, if they have a chili, I'm like, I got to try it. Just a cup to see how it is, and then sometimes you adjust things at home to how you like them. And there was one chili that I had where they used beef cubes instead of ground beef, and it was delicious. It was kind of like a spiced up stew when you ate it. It was absolutely delicious. So you always get those different ideas. Which is where the different recipes develop for family recipes. I don't like an extremely hot chili. I like a little spice to it.
Yeah.
And the little spices, after I make it, when I go to eat it, actually goes down because I add a whole bunch of saltines to it. You just crumble up saltines and put them in there and mix them up in there, and it actually brings the heat a little bit down, but it makes it even more robust. It gives it a little bit.
You know,
more depth to
your
it.
dad would appreciate this if he was here. You can now get Wendy's chili in the gallon bucket. Did you know that?
I don't know about the gallon.
Listen, I'm telling you that you could even freeze it. I mean, that's listen. Your dad and I loved Wendy's chili. Honestly, I don't think anybody other than my late mother made chili as good as that Wendy's chili. That chili is the best chili ever.
They should take the beans out and make a hot dog version. You can put it on top of a hot dog.
You know what?
Or on top of nachos.
Now, listen to me. Could you imagine if Wendy's...
I expect royalties.
Wait a minute, Frank. What they did with the baked potato, which that became a meal within itself, you know, with broccoli and cheese and all that stuff. Wendy's put it on the map. Do you imagine if Wendy's started putting their chili on hot dogs and started selling hot dogs? It would be a smash hit. It would be something brand new for Wendy's.
It'd be a big hit. You know, so chili's on my mind because I just had chili hot dogs for New Year's, and the day before for New Year's Eve we had chili hot dogs, and I bought Hormel chili with American cheese already in it. You know, because for at home I usually make one with beans and all that, so it doesn't work well for a hot dog. But the canned ones do, and this Hormel with the American cheese in it, it was absolutely delicious.
By the way,
it reminded me of Brighton hot dog shops. My wife always gets the cheese and chili together.
Listen, they'll give Wendy a run for their money if they ever get into the hot dog business, because no one does hot dogs better than them. But I thought she said Bahamian, which most people did, but Bohemian, as in Bohemian Rhapsody with Freddie Mercury. So Dr. Wong jumped into, so she said Bohemian, not Bahamian, but Bohemian.
Yeah, I heard Bohemian.
I didn't. I heard both.
I wasn't stepping in because I don't know what type, where it was in the world. So I like to be educated by the people who know.
Did she have dreads and did she sing like Bob Marley? That's all I want to know. I love Bob Marley. His last concert ever, by the way, Stanley Theater, right here in Pittsburgh. All right, let's get a break in here. We're going to come back. We're going to Elwood City to talk to Carol. We want to hear from you, your all-time favorites. It can be desserts too, banana splits, whatever, chocolate cake, you name it. All-time favorites are what we're discussing today, from the, appetizer to the entree to the dessert. 866-391-1020. It is the Coons Cooking Hour. Rob Taylor next with the news at 8:30 on KDKA.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Obsessed with pizza? So are they at Slice on Broadway. The 2025 winner of World's Best Cheese Pizza Slice is right here in the Berg, with 6 Pittsburgh locations: Beachview, East End, Carnegie, Robinson, Southside, and Wexford. Always serving delicious New York-style pizza, hoagies, and salads. Order yours today. Visit sliceonbroadway.com. New York style, yins are made. Sliceonbroadway.com. New to Rivers Casino? Join now and earn up to $1,000 free slot play. Stop by Rush Rewards on your next visit to start earning today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. It's the weekly program that keeps you current with the latest travel trends and vacation values. Listen to AAA's Talking Travel every Saturday morning at 11 on KDKA Radio.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times. But when you need us, we're here for you. And we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 23 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 8:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife were in custody and will face a judge later this week. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez has more on the mission to take Maduro.
Capturing Maduro was an audacious snatch-and-grab operation in Venezuela in the early hours of Saturday morning. A swarm of U.S. military helicopters, special forces units known as the Night Stalkers, descended on Caracas. Explosions lit up the sky, and within 2.5 hours of U.S. forces touching down, Maduro and his wife were in custody.
Senators from Pennsylvania reacting to the capture of the Venezuelan leader. Republican Senator Dave McCormick released a statement saying, in part, quote, "For years, Maduro's regime killed our children by flooding America's streets with poison, threatened our borders, and undermined U.S. national security. I urge what's left of the Maduro regime to honor the will of the Venezuelan people and transition peacefully to rightfully elected leadership." Democratic Senator John Fetterman released a statement saying, quote, "Grateful for our U.S. military personnel that handled these orders in Venezuela with precision. I maintain that we have the strongest and most lethal military in the world. Today proves that even more," end quote. Well, more than 100 people gathered in East Liberty on Saturday to protest the Trump administration's call to capture the leader of Venezuela. The gathering, which was held at the corner of Penn and Highland Avenues, was organized by the Pittsburgh chapter of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Now, some held signs that read, quote, "Endless war, shut it down." Another sign read, quote, "Peace on earth." And another sign read, quote, "No blood for oil." Those gathered questioned the true reasons for the capture, if it was national security related or an attempt to have more power over Latin America and access to oil. Similar protests were held across the country. Well, a man who was shot outside of a funeral home in Aliquippa was shot during a funeral. State police are now handling the investigation. They say a funeral was happening for a person who was shot and killed in Rochester back in December. While that funeral was happening at the Pitts Funeral Home on Franklin Avenue on Friday, police say a 23-year-old man was shot outside of the funeral home. He was shot in the arm and is expected to recover. No suspects have been arrested as of yet. 4 people were injured following a house fire early this morning in West Mifflin. That fire began around 3 o'clock this morning at a home on Wood Street. No word on the conditions of those who were hurt. No word on what caused that fire. KDK Radio News time is 8:33. We have the AccuWeather forecast next.
Hi, my name's Robin Fletcher. I smoked for 46 years. I went to a seminar in March, the 27th, and seen Mark. My best friend came with me. We both went to it, and neither one of us smoked a cigarette in almost 7.5 months. I took my 3 sisters and my brother-in-law and my sister's best friend and them went. None of them have smoked a cigarette, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
My name is Jen Carpenter. I went to a Mark Patrick seminar, the Stop Smoking, and it worked. A friend of mine also went, and he still no longer smokes, and it was just amazing.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $59.99. Hypnosis designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain. Only $59.99. Become a non-smoker. That's right. Hypnosis Sunday, January 11th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh West in Greentree. Stop smoking hypnosis, 2 p.m. Weight loss hypnosis, 11 a.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. A robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today may bring a flurry in some spots to start the day. Otherwise, it looks to be cloudy with a high of 30. Those clouds generally hang tough for tonight with a low of 23. And tomorrow looks cloudy as well, but much less cold with a high of 45. Then clouds on Tuesday yield a bit of afternoon rain, high 49. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following program is paid for by Coons Quality Market. The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
I'll tell you another all-time favorite before we get back to the phones. I like Mrs. Paul's fish sticks. Don't ask me why. I do. See, my mind is like, I got to go to the grocery store today. I mean, I love little things like that. Pizza rolls. Tostitos pizza rolls.
I love pizza rolls.
Oh.
We just had some the other day. The Supreme ones.
Oh, so you're living large, huh?
Yeah, we're living large. My wife loves them. I love them. And it's not, we don't have them all the time, but it's just like one of them treats that you pick up, like, ooh, I'm going to have some pizza rolls tonight.
And by the way, Matthew McConaughey, the legendary actor, just went on record saying one thing he can never live without, he puts it on everything, is ketchup. He loves ketchup, and I get it.
That's my brother. My brother has everything ketchup.
Listen, to me, pizza rolls, a bottle of Heinz ketchup, a football game, I'm good to go. All right, here we go. Carol, Elwood City, all-time favorites. Hey, Carol, good morning.
Good morning. I'd like to reply to the lady who called about the potato pancakes or whatever.
Yeah.
My grandmother came from Czechoslovakia, and she used to make these dumplings. They were made from grated raw potatoes, flour, egg, a little salt, made a stiff, kind of sticky dough, boiled a big pot of water, salted it, and when the water boiled, you dropped the dough by small teaspoons into the boiling water until they came to the top, and then they were finished. Then you drained them, added them to the sauerkraut or whatever you're making. And they were called trapochka. I don't know if anyone ever heard of this before. I'm an old lady now, but that was what I remember from when I was a child. And I did make them years ago when I was young, but I haven't made them in a long time. But they're delicious. And I could eat a million of them, except they'd weigh you down and you never get up again.
You don't have to worry about a strong wind blowing you away, right?
No, right?
You know what? But all that food was just made with so much love, and they just.
I know.
Oh, I miss it. I miss my grandmother
I do too.
and my mom. I miss it. I miss it. In fact, I was at a friend's house filming a video the other day, and his lovely wife was just in the kitchen, just straightening things up and boxing stuff up and this and that. And I was just thinking about how much joy used to really make my heart sing and soar with joy, just watching my mother glide around the kitchen, adding different ingredients or stirring a pot of sauce. Just such great memories.
Yes. Oh, wonderful. Yes.
Hey, thank you, Carol.
You're quite welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That's a great little town. You and I talk about it all the time. If I didn't end up in Monaca because I was close to my kids, Elwood, I would move to Elwood in a heartbeat.
I'm 5-6 miles down the road. I go to Elwood all the time. Yeah, I love going down to Elwood. Nice little town. I like their Christmas. You ever see the Christmas they have the holidays?
Yeah, beautiful.
Just the little things like that. People, it makes a difference. And the little parks right there on the main road. They still have that main strip that you can go through. I'll stop down. There's the hot dog shop there too that I like, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, and Vinny's Pizza is right behind it. And so I usually go.
You know all the places now.
You know all the good places, yeah.
Yeah, I really like Elwood a lot. All right, here's Dorian in McKees Rocks. Hey, Dorian, how are you?
Good today. I have a cold dessert for someone that has a sweet tooth.
Okay.
You get a coffee mug, you break a Klondike in two, and you top it with strawberry or apricot preserves.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good.
Very good.
Oh, Klondike bars. And you know what's crazy about ice cream? I like ice cream now more this time of year than I do when it's summertime and it's hot outside.
When you're not supposed to have it.
Yeah.
I like ice cream anytime.
Listen, we'd come into my grandmother's house after church before dinner. All right, you guys want a Klondike bar? Isley's obviously started the Klondike bar. They've since been sold. But the aluminum foil wrapping of that Klondike bar, how you would shake just opening that thing up, and the first bite of that frozen combination and the chocolate would just crack around the ice cream. Oh, it was...
See, that's the problem when you have it in the middle of summer, because then the chocolate melts and you have to lick it off that foil on the inside.
You better get moving. You
got to eat the ice cream so fast, and then you got the ice cream headache. I like it any time. And, just about any flavor. But my favorite's always a chocolate peanut butter. And then Klondike, they have a ton of varieties, but I still like that original.
I know.
Whatever it is. And they make an ice cream sandwich, too, that I think it's called Big Bear.
And if you're...
It's delicious,
what's it called?
I think it's a Big Bear.
Wow.
But it's delicious as well.
What you should do today... it's the first of the year. You got Orthodox Christmas coming up in a couple of days. Just continue to celebrate. Go to the bakery. You know what I really miss as a kid, and my grandmother used to have it all the time, is coffee cake. Have you ever had? I love coffee.
I love coffee cake. I used to pick up, we have them in the bakeries, and the other one, if you're not at one of our stores, is Edmonds. Always has a good,
yes.
Edmonds also makes a really good chocolate-covered donut. And then the little mini chocolate chip cookies.
But I will tell you, when it comes to the smaller donuts, and I'm a little biased because they're a Pennsylvania company, I like the powdered donuts from Tasty Cake.
And everybody knows that you had them because they're all over your shirt.
Frank, listen, my kids and I would fight to the death over the last couple in the bottom of a bag. I could slam those little dozen powdered donuts. I could do a dozen of those in a heartbeat.
Oh, of course.
Gallon of milk from United Dairy.
It's dangerous. Once you stop, especially when you get those bags of little donuts, you can't
when you're young, you can eat that stuff in the morning, but if somehow you wake up and that's the first thing you eat, you're done for the rest of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just don't want to do anything. You want to lay down on the couch and watch cartoons, which wouldn't be a bad thing every once in a while. 866-391-1020, your all-time favorites. How about this? Cheeseburger. Hamburgers are great. But whoever decided to put the cheese on top of the burger, is there anything better than a big bucket of fries and a hot, juicy cheeseburger?
Oh, nothing better. A nice slice of American on top, because American cheese melts a little better than what a cheddar will, or even a natural cheese. And then also pepper jack. Borden has individually wrapped pepper jack, and it melts better because it's more of the American cheese based. So it melts better. But if you really want a hot cheese that'll go great on a burger, we have Guggisberg hot pepper cheese. It's got a really nice spice to it, and it just melts great. And the way they make it, they use their ends. So whenever they're making Swiss cheese, they have to cut to a specific size. And they're Colbys as well. And they always have these end cuts. So they take the Colby and the Swiss, and they mix it together, melt it down, mix it together. It's mostly Swiss.
All right, so
and make that hot pepper cheese. It's delicious.
Let's end on this note. Because it's all-time favorites. So what about your favorite type of cheese? Frank just made me think of this. Your favorite type of cheese. Give us a call, 866-391-1020. We'll draw possibly your name at the end of the hour along with everybody that's been on. We've had some new callers today. That person's going to take home a $25 gift certificate. If I were to add Velveeta, because of back in the day, and I know a lot of people don't believe it, but it's a fact. I love Velveeta. But guess what my really favorite cheese other than that Velveeta block of cheese is? What would you think it is? My favorite. It's not exotic. It's a one that everybody loves, but it's my favorite.
Provolone?
I like provolone. It's Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese.
Frank, I've been known to have 6 pieces, fold it in half, shoot some mustard in between the holes, and hopefully get it in my mouth before the drippings fall to the floor.
My favorite, I like a Swiss on a burger with mushrooms. It's absolutely delicious. I like a baby Swiss if I'm making a sandwich, though.
Now, what's a baby Swiss? Smaller holes?
Smaller holes, but it's more mild. And I think it's aged less. And it's really good. And Guggisberg has a great baby Swiss that they sell, that we slice at the deli, but they also sell a wedge, too, if you're cutting any up.
Listen, I don't know if it was you who coined the phrase, but when Isley's was doing the Swiss cheese and we were promoting it, you, I think, came up with the extra holes for extra flavor. That was one of the greatest lines of all time. You remember that?
Yeah, I should get this guy's name's Ray Cole. He works for Guggisberg, represents Guggisberg, and he was explaining to me how Swiss is made, but then we were asking him what's the difference between like a grade A Swiss and the C, what's the difference in it, and then it's all in those holes and how it develops the holes and the consistency of the hole. And there's a whole process to the way Swiss is graded, and then they have these competitions basically once a year, where they're graded, and the winner of it gets that, can put that up onto their package of cheese that they won. And Guggisberg Swiss has won before, and it's that consistency of holes. And we were asking them, the flavor does build around those gases that builds around those holes, and that's where most of that flavor really does come around. It's not our imagination.
All right, so your favorite flavor of cheese? I like sharp cheese, I like port wine cheese, but Swiss cheese, all-time favorite. All right, 866-391-1020. Got time to get a couple more calls in here. Next hour, helping over 14,000 people with neuropathy. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the first of the new year. Dr. Sean Ritchie will be here on KDKA.
When the weather turns bad, turn to us for the best news, weather, and traffic information from the KDKA Radio Storm Center. Presented by Duquesne Light Company. Larger than light. And brought to you by Butler Transit Authority. Online and on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing. I don't have any cravings. You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no cravings. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results.
Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Only $59.99. Because don't just cut down, but stop smoking. In addition, lose all the weight with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings and lose the weight. Weight Loss Hypnosis, Sunday, January 11th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh West in Green Tree, 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Hypnosis, 2 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before seminar. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Hey, we got Marlene, all-time favorite. She's in Castle Shannon. Marlene, welcome to
Good morning,
KDKA.
guys.
How are you
Thanks for
today?
taking my call. I am blessed. I have a question. We were talking about different foods and desserts and that, and I work at Mercy Hospital, and the nun asked me if I ever heard of ambrosia. She's 90 years old. She said she'd like to have it again. Do you know where I could get ambrosia? It's like a a sweet dessert. She said KEMP used to make it.
Yeah, we sometimes have it. It's more like ours would usually be kind of like
it's a fruit salad,
creamy fruit salad that we sell in the deli. But we don't carry it a lot, so I'd have to double check. I mean, my best bet's, I know Banksville did at one point, so I have to double check. Yeah, if you stop by the deli and ask them about it, they can tell you when they usually get it in, or if they can, when they usually stock it. That's the one that I know of. Now, I don't know if they carry it in the canned foods. They might have an ambrosia mix, which is just the fruit itself, that I used to see. I'm not sure if I see it anymore. Del Monte used to have one like that. Del Monte
I never heard of it, so she brought it up.
Yeah, the dessert itself, the salad,
probably
pretty
had
good.
it, Marlene. You just didn't know what.
Yeah, no one really called it a name, is what it, But
oh, sure.
Yeah, there's a couple I've had with it, like a Hawaiian style, which they had coconut in it, the pineapple one, and different. But it's like a mix. I guess more of a citrusy mixed fruit salad. There's cherries obviously in there, but I do know that, I know that Banksville a lot of times would rotate it into their salad mix. So it's a good bet to go and check over in the deli and try it. I know it's a seller. It does go okay. Now it's one of those older recipes, but people, once they've tried it, they 90. Go back to it. Yeah.
She's 90.
You don't hear from it so much, which is why you haven't heard of it, because you don't hear about it much. But the people that know it, they're not going to tell you because that's their secret. They don't want you to know.
Let me give you the definition so you'll have an idea. And this is from Wikipedia. Ambrosia is an American variety of fruit salad originating in the southern United States. Most ambrosia recipes contain canned, often sweetened or fresh pineapple, canned mandarin oranges, sliced or fresh orange sections, miniature marshmallows, and coconut, like Frank said. Other ingredients might include various fruits and nuts, maraschino cherries, bananas, strawberries, peeled grapes, or crushed pecans. So it has that gelatin flavor, but it's got a little bit of a bite to it because of the nuts and things like that, Frank.
Yeah, and you can put it, if you're making yourself, you can pull it in and pull out what you want. If you're allergic to nuts or just don't like them, and take it out. Coconut, you can take it out, or add more if you really like it. So that, when you're making yourself, you can do a lot of those adjustments as well.
My grandmother, Marlene, used to make that all the time, and I never knew it was named ambrosia. So I learned something.
Really?
No, I learned something too today.
I like goat's milk cheese and Swiss cheese, and I want to thank you because when you guys have those nut rolls, those apricot nut, and those nuns go crazy over them. Oh, I take them like 3 and 4 and stuff like that. And the one nun, her nephew invited her over for Thanksgiving, and she said, "Oh, Marlene," she said, "I took that nut roll," and she said it was the hit. She said it was better than anything anybody else had made, and her nephew had made fresh brownies, and she said, "Oh, they sat while everybody ate the nut rolls." So I want to thank you for having them around the holidays. Oh, they just go crazy over them and the apricot. So,
hey, and please tell Marlene, please tell them to keep up the great work. Mercy is such a wonderful place in our great city, so please tell them how much we appreciate the effort. Everybody down there, okay?
Oh, I will. I take good care of them. Like I said, I bring them ice cream and all different things. When you guys put chocolate chip cookies, oh, they are crazy about them on sale. The ones from the bakery.
Yes.
Not these ones that,
So I guess I could say the official cookie of the nuns of the city of Pittsburgh comes from Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. I love it. Hey, thank you so much. And, we do so much for the Sisters of the Little Poor. When you are at a Coons Market and you are checking out, please do yourself a favor and drop some of that spare change in those wooden boxes. It goes such a long way. Look, with all of my friends that are priests, and I had a chance to meet Bishop Ekman for the first time at the feast, I'm going to say it, and I'll say it again and again, that the Sisters of the Diocese of Pittsburgh are the real backbone, and I have such respect for what they do, Frankie.
A lot of work that people don't realize or see.
Right.
You hear about it, the Little Sister of the Poor talking to them, and the way they, it's just stuff that, a lot of things that people can't afford to be done, first of all, and then, don't want to do. And, they put their heart out into it and, be appreciated. And I, really do. We always have our boxes out on the registers for people to donate because that's how they run.
All right, here's Chuck. Whoops. Is he ready to go? Alonzo, you got Chuck ready to go. We'll try to get Chuck.
He's still firing up the grill.
Listen.
Charcoal hasn't lit yet. He's almost there.
Listen, poor Alonzo's in there working hard, man. All right, here's Chuck and Shaler. How you doing, Chucky?
All right, Rob, I overslept.
That's okay. You're entitled. You're entitled. You work hard. Go ahead.
Fried bologna. It's real simple.
Oh, yeah.
Get real thick bologna. I'll get like maybe 5 slices out of a pound. That's how thick I make it. And you put 3 slits around the sides. Like you cut into it so it don't, it'll curl up. It won't curl up as much. And I put dill pickle seasoning on there. And just fry it up till it's brown. Throw some Velveeta cheese and a fried egg on top. And
Actually, that's delicious. That's a hidden one that people forget about, too.
Listen, we would get up on Sunday mornings, guys. We didn't have bacon. We couldn't afford it. My dad would make a plate of dippy eggs, sunny side up, and a plate of fried bologna. And, man, it was like heaven. In fact, I'd rather have fried bologna than bacon, to be quite honest.
Besides steaks on the grill, the only thing my dad made was fried eggs.
Listen, we used to cut it thick like Chuck, but we used to call it ham when it was cut.
No, fried bologna. I mean, it brings out all that flavor that's in that bologna. You know, the first time I ever had it wasn't that I didn't make it. I didn't have it at home. You know, it was at Permani's. That was the first time
they do fried bologna at Permani's.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Well, then you can get an egg on top of it.
That's a good idea. All right, hey, listen, Chuck, I got to get to a break. Hope you got a little extra sleep. You're going to be up late tonight watching that Steeler game. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Draw this week's winner next. Coons Cooking Hour, KDKA.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
And one of the things that you've heard a lot about, especially toward the second half of last year, is changes in the healthcare world. CEO of MediConnect, we know him very well, Lance O'Brien.
Things get really, really difficult for some people. So who's being impacted the most? One is early retirees, and usually your middle class.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for moms.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-747-7676. 800-747-7676. Again, that's 800-747-7676.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
No wonder why the guys worked at UPS for such a long time. He already turned around and sent me a picture of the plate, meaning Chuck, via email. Instant access, sunny side up egg, fried bologna. That looks incredible, Chuck. Incredible. All right, time to draw this week's winner of that $25 gift certificate. And the winner is...
This week's winner is Joan in the North Hills.
All right, so today is National Spaghetti Day. So this is what I want everyone to do before the game. Go to Coons Market. We're now open, been open for the last hour. Go to the sauce aisle. All sorts of great sauce to choose from. Get yourself some pasta. Put on a big just tub of spaghetti today. Extra sauce. Get out some of that delicious Coons Italian crusty bread. Land O'Lakes butter. And just sit back and eat pasta all day long.
Well, here's a quick sauce for people that so if you have pressed on time and you don't want to make a jarred sauce, you want a fresh sauce. So what I do, I'll get 2 of the big cans of crushed tomatoes, because I'm always making a lot anyway. 2 big cans of crushed tomatoes. Di Fratelli I like because it's lined on the inside with that white so you don't get the can taste. Salt, pepper, and oregano. And first what you want to do is you want to cut up medium onion, maybe 2, depending how much you want in there. I'd probably do 2. Dice them up, fry it, or saute it in a pan with a little bit of olive oil. Then take those, dump the crushed tomatoes into the pot, dump those onions right into the pot. You can strain them if you want less oil. I don't use much oil anyway, so I put the whole thing in there. Salt, pepper, and oregano and taste. Just a little bit of handful in the middle of your hand. Just fill that up, dump it in, and that's it. Heat it up and you're done. So it takes almost as much time as the jarred sauce, and it is absolutely delicious, and it works great with thin spaghetti from DiCecco.
DiCecco from Italy was on the Lusitania.
That's right. And didn't make it.
Yeah, and
but the rest has made it since.
The Sinceri family, all they were worried, hey, did the pasta make it? We got the pasta coming. Del Cecco from Italy. You can still get it, Jimmy and Nino's, and of course at Coons Market. And that is a great pasta. I mean, it's the real deal.
It's always what you want, too. I mean, it's consistent. It's delicious. You know, it holds up in hot, but it also holds up as a cold pasta salad, too.
All right, listen, news coming up next. Boy, your dad's still with us, man. From the cough drops to the Del Cecco pasta, he's never going to leave us, him and Janet, and that's a good thing. All right, stay tuned. Rob's got the news, and then I'm coming back. Dr. Sean Ritchie, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Don't you dare miss it. Next.
The preceding program was paid for by Coons Quality Market.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 24 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 9 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife are in custody and will face a judge later this week. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez has more on the mission to take Maduro and what comes next for the Latin American nation.
Capturing Maduro was an audacious snatch-and-grab operation in Venezuela in the early hours of Saturday morning. A swarm of U.S. military helicopters, special forces units known as the Night Stalkers, descended on Caracas. Explosions lit up the sky, and within 2.5 hours of U.S. forces touching down, Maduro and his wife were in custody.
This was a law enforcement exercise. It was the Department of War in support of the Department of Justice pulling out an indicted person who ultimately will face justice.
President Trump and his team watched the mission unfold from his Mar-a-Lago home. The president said the U.S. will take over Venezuela without explaining how that's going to work, how long it could last, and whether U.S. troops would be needed to do it. He also said the U.S. will take over the country's oil reserves. Christian Benavidez, CBS News, Miami.
Senators from Pennsylvania reacting to the capture of the Venezuelan leader. Republican Senator Dave McCormick releasing a statement Saturday saying in part, quote, "For years, Maduro's regime killed our children by flooding America's streets with poison, threatened our borders, and undermined U.S. national security. I urge what's left of the Maduro regime to honor the will of the Venezuelan people and transition peacefully to rightfully elected leadership," end quote. And Democratic Senator John Fetterman released a statement saying, quote, "Grateful for our U.S. military personnel that handled these orders in Venezuela with precision. I maintain that we have the strongest and most lethal military in the world. Today proves that even more," end quote. Well, more than 100 people gathered in East Liberty on Saturday afternoon to protest the Trump administration's call to capture the Venezuelan leader. The gathering, held outside East Liberty Presbyterian Church at Penn and Highland Avenues, was organized by the Pittsburgh chapter of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. There were some who held signs that read, quote, "Endless war, shut it down." Another sign read, quote, "Peace on earth," and another sign read, quote, "No blood for oil." Those gathered questioned the true reasons for the capture, if it was for national security reasons or an attempt to have more power over Latin America and access to oil. Similar protests were held across the country. A rollover crash on I-70 sent one person to the hospital. Crash happened Saturday afternoon in Washington County. One person who was in the vehicle that rolled over was flown to a local hospital. No word on that person's condition this morning. Cause of the crash is under investigation. And a crash on the Parkway East sent one person to the hospital. This crash happened around 9 o'clock Saturday morning on the outbound side of the Parkway East near the Bates Street on-ramp. No word on the condition of the person who was taken to the hospital, and the cause of that crash is under investigation. KDKA Radio News Time, 9:03. AccuWeather forecast next.
Honey,
I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
There may be a flurry around to start the day today. Otherwise, it looks rather cloudy for the second half of the weekend with a high of 30. Those clouds stick around for tonight, low 23. Before the chill breaks for tomorrow with plenty of clouds and a high of 45. Tuesday also looks to be mostly cloudy with some afternoon rain arriving, high 49. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Information on the program is intended solely to further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
These are the people, the movers and shakers, the businesses, the people you know in your community who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, so those of you who are listening to the weather forecast saying, oh, it's going to warm up, the ice and snow will melt, I'll be able to hit the steps, walk outside again, go get the mail, take a walk, take the dog for a walk. But I can't until it does because of my neuropathy. Well, guess what? If you do what I'm about to tell you, like so many have, including me, you won't be worried about the weather forecast. You'll be looking forward to every day because you will have that first step back to a normal life. He is Dr. Sean Ritchie. He joins us now, the Metropolitan Window video screen. You can see this show, stream live, and hear him too. KDKRadio.com. Click on KDK Watch. MaryDanston.com. Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia. The first consultation, examination, and treatment is free with one of the largest neuropathy centers in the country with the most experience, successfully treated over thousands, 15,000 to be exact, and that number continues to grow. Neuropathy patients, most powerful, non-invasive FDA-approved technology on the market today. They are 100% devoted to treating peripheral neuropathy only and are the experts in the industry. Now, here's the key before I get them on the air here. If you or you know anyone who's dealing with neuropathy, please tell them about this show. Please tell them about Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Please tell them about MaryDanston.com because there is hope. And today, again, first consultation, examination, and treatment is free. What a great way to start off the new year. You call the number now, 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. Leave your first and last name and a working number. They can reach you throughout the week during business hours, and you'll get that trifecta. Consultant, the first consultation, examination, and treatment, it's all free. Listen, Doc, it's great to see you. Happy New Year. Wish you were here in person, but I totally understand why you're not taking care of a family member. But we have a lot of people to take care of with neuropathy. So let's get going. And how are things going at the Tri-State Neuropathy Centers as you enter the start of 2026 and the success story continues to grow? Good morning.
Good morning to you and Happy New Year to you. Yeah, tell me about it. 2025 went by like that, didn't it?
It did.
Oh, geez. You know, over the holidays here, it was kind of a weird break. Thursday was Christmas, Thursday was New Year. So we had a portion of that where I got to see some patients between those holidays. And I got to listen to a lot of the patients tell them, where they're at with their program and how they're doing. And that was really fun, just appreciating people celebrating family and hearing what they're doing. And that was really fun to hear how people's lives are being changed. So when I sit there and think about how they've spent years, some people decades, suffering with this neuropathy, and how by going through what we do, how it has changed their life. I was thinking about this one lady, Marie, Italian lady. Italians and their Christmas and their food. I mean, she went through all this food that she had made and maybe wanted to be there, but she said, for years, she suffered for decades with this, and she wasn't able to stand and cook all the food that she did. And this year, she was able to. She was able to stand and do what she wanted to do and make the meals that she was always passionate about her whole entire life. And that just makes me so happy to hear that, how we are affecting people's lives. And I mean, I just started listening to other people. There was a guy, Tim, who just started a week before Christmas, and he couldn't sleep. And he said, it's like every night I get these sharp shooting pains through my toes. He goes, and I'm walking around trying to settle them down every night. In 1 week, Rob, those pains and shooting pains are gone. And a lot of people said that, being able to sleep over the holidays here, they said that was a big transition. A couple other people I just made note of, just because it was very interesting. There's a guy, Bob. He suffered for a long time too, and balance was horrible. So when he got to see, his friends as a part of the American Legions, these people could not believe the difference in his balance, his walking. Even his chiropractor that he goes to couldn't believe the change. There's a lady, Kay. She's 91, Rob. 91 years old.
That's fantastic.
And she's a Spitfire. But the one thing that she was really bothered by was she was starting to have trouble feeling the pedals in her car, so driving. And she would finally drive, but she just was having trouble. And over Christmas and the holidays, minus some of the weather that we had, she was able to drive everywhere and be able to get to where she wanted to go by herself. That was one of her big things. There's a lady, she suffered for 15 years, Rosemary. She said over Christmas, she not once thought about her feet. Not once. 15 years of suffering with neuropathy, and she didn't even think about her feet. That's pretty cool. John, he said he's 90% better, but his biggest thing, he was sleeping. There was a guy, Doug. He was going to a physical therapy. He had a couple of different issues. But one of the things they would do was they put these little stim pads on his legs, for some of the muscle work. And he said, I never felt it. He goes, they turned that thing up all the way. And he said, you know what? He goes, I can feel this tingling now from this electrical stimulation that they were doing for him at PT. He goes, and the only thing I changed was doing the program that you're doing. So just listening to all these stories, I listen to people that have suffered from 15 years to decades, like where they would be if they just didn't do what we do and be able to help them and change their Christmas for them.
Listen, what you have to understand, and I'm sure you realize this because you see it unfold every day, but for the audience and maybe someone listening who has neuropathy or thinks they have neuropathy, it's not just a physical disease, but it snatches you of your life. And there are some people that live for cooking for their family for the holidays. And when you remove that from someone's life, it can do irreparable damage, can it not, Doc?
Oh, my gosh. If you could just spend a day with me, Rob, and listen to some of the stories that we hear, it literally just destroys a person, their whole motivation, the whole future, their ambition, every day they wake up. Neuropathy, the worst part about it, it's progressive. Once you get it, it's going to get worse. That's the inevitable fact. And unfortunately, they kind of go the direction that everybody goes, and they go to their PCP, and they like to give them a medication to try to mask it, and then they do more testing. And unfortunately, they just keep getting loaded up with this medication. But the thing about it, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And to know where it goes, and to listen to people tell me that they can't spend an hour without thinking about their feet, this numbness, this pins and needles, the tingling, that's kind of the beginning phases of neuropathy. But man, when it gets to the burning, the stabbing, electric shocks, one of the guys, he was telling me that he was walking, his feet were so numb, like horrible, sleeping was bad. Every single night, like pacing floors, but he was walking across his kitchen floor and he saw all this blood on his floor and he couldn't figure out what it was. Rob, he stepped on a tack. And his feet were so numb he didn't even know it. And he had to pull the tack out, and then he had to get it checked out because these people with neuropathy, if that infection gets too bad, you start losing some toes, some feet. You can even lose your legs with this thing. It's not a good thing to get.
All right, we have a lot to get to. We're going to talk about what neuropathy actually is. But for the first time, the first show of the new year, tell everybody about Tri-State Neuropathy. And again, multiple locations: Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia. MaryDancedIn, .com, 724-940-9000. And this offer is always on the table, so it's worth making the call. Leave your first and last name and a working number. They can reach you during the week. First consultation, examination, and first treatment is free. Tell them about the Tri-State Neuropathy Center, and then we'll go to break. Go ahead, Doc.
Sounds great. Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. We started in 2013. We started with one office, and we've grown to a tri-state area. We have multiple docs in our practice, and we are 100% dedicated to treating peripheral neuropathy. And since 2013, I think it was 2015 we started the show with you, Rob. So it's been a decade we've been working together, which is great.
It is.
But since then, we've treated over 15,000. Now, we've seen probably 25,000 to 30,000 people in this time frame. Not everybody qualifies for our program. And to start from where we were, one of the first 10 in the whole entire country, we've been able to grow and be able to treat this many people. But the reason we've been able to do that, and we'll talk about it here in a little bit, is our technology. We're the only ones in town that has the most powerful technology, and that's how we've been able to help thousands and thousands of people and grow as big as we've grown.
Listen, my New Year's wish for all of you, if you're dealing with neuropathy or you think you are, you know someone, just make this call. Don't put it off. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till the middle of the week. Do it right now as we go to commercial break. Just leave your first and last name and a working number. They'll get you in there, and then you'll know exactly where you stand. And that consultation, the first one is free. The examination is free. Even the first treatment is free. But you got to dial this number now. 724-940-9000. 724-940-9000. One of the reasons they have so many locations, easy access for everybody within the listening audience. Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia. Dr. Sean Ritchie back with more in just a moment on KDKA. Good morning.
News, weather, traffic, and business every day. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 20% and get 18-month no-interest financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
So as we return with Dr. Sean Ritchie, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, don't forget 724-940-9000, first and last name and a working number. They can reach you throughout the week. And again, that first consultation, examination, and treatment is free. So let's get everybody caught up. Tell them what neuropathy actually is in clinical terms, Doc.
Right on. It's a devastating disease. They say in America, there's about 10% of the people suffer from neuropathy, which is a lot of people. It's over 30 million people. So you're not alone out there. Even though you might feel like you're alone, you got this weird feeling in your feet. You talk to your docs, and they kind of act like they're not sure what you're talking about. You're not alone. So let me tell you a little bit about what peripheral neuropathy is. So our brain controls everything. Every cell, tissue, organ is controlled by our brain. It'll send a signal down your back and leaves as a large nerve fiber. Now that's a big nerve. It's about the size of your finger. Leaves, and it starts to go control your big stuff, your muscles, controls your heart, your stomach, your liver, your pancreas, picking your legs up, moving your feet, bending your toes. This is all large nerve fiber functionality, okay? People that get drop foot or people that get sciatica, all large nerve fiber problem. But when that nerve gets to the end, in the top layer of your skin, this tiny, tiny microscopic nerve, it's so small that you can't even see it. It's called a sensory nerve or a small nerve fiber. It makes you feel things. It makes you feel cold. It makes you feel hot. It makes you feel vibration, sharp things. So when you get peripheral neuropathy, that's the nerve that's involved. So when people come in and we do our initial consultation, that's what we're looking for. We want to make sure that it's a small nerve fiber problem. That's why when I say we've seen 30,000 people, but we've only treated 15, those people just don't qualify. We disqualify people all the time. We love our success rate. Almost every single patient that goes through our program will get 50 to 100% better. That's because we qualify. With our experience of that many people over this many years, it allows us to be very spot on who's a good candidate and who's not. And usually the people that are on point will get anywhere from 50 to 100% better. So with that said, when you come in, we'll run an exam on you. Okay, we're going to run a very simple test. It takes us about 2 minutes, and it tells us if you have it. You know, aside from our discussion of your health history and everything, we look for several different things in your health history. Top 4 reasons people generally walk through our office, and probably the top 4 things you get when you get older is diabetics. Not the only thing that causes neuropathy. A lot of people think that, but diabetes definitely can cause neuropathy. Chemotherapy, radiation, immunotherapy, people that get cancer go through treatments can get this problem. And then it rolls into back issues, major back issues, anything from spinal stenosis, sciatica, disc problems, surgeries. Last thing is a thing called a cholesterol medicine, a medication for cholesterol called a statin. Those are the top 4 things that people generally come through our door with. But when they start to get this neuropathy, it starts usually in a toe or maybe all your toes. Okay, unlike sciatica, large, it likes to work its way down. Small nerve fibers start at the end, the peripheral. Starts at your toes, maybe even your fingers. More commonly in the toes. Starts with that numbing feeling, like your toes feel like they've fallen asleep on you, or they feel swollen, and they just feel weird. And then it rolls into a thing called pins and needles, maybe tingling kind of feeling, like it's like they're humming. And then it works its way back. Now it hits the ball of your feet. Now it feels like you're walking on something like either marbles, maybe bunched up socks. Some people say egg cartons, or I've heard watermelons, ping pong balls. Some people say it feels like there's a piece of leather on the bottom of my foot. And as I mentioned, it starts to get worse and starts to continue back and hits your heel. Now it starts to roll into the bad stuff. The bad stuff is where when you listen to somebody's story, it really seems to hit you in the heart and go, how do these people live with it? And it turns into that burning pain. It feels like somebody's just putting you in a hot coals, or they got the opposite, a freezing feeling. Sometimes they don't even know the difference. It's a freezing feeling in a nice block version in hot coals, and it just gets worse and worse. And then it rolls into the stabbing, the electric shocks, and then the crampings come at night. That rolls up into your calves. Now this will crawl all the way to your knees, fingertips to your elbows, and it just gets worse and worse. And a lot of times these people face a very bad nighttime because when they sit down, their heart slows down. They're getting less circulation to those nerves, and now all of a sudden those symptoms, they can really elevate. That's why a lot of people have trouble sleeping at night, because they're just not getting enough circulation down there, which those nerves are starving and craving.
By the way, by acting today, you can prevent your neuropathy from getting worse with a drug-free, painless, non-invasive, and FDA-approved treatment program that will help you get back to enjoying all the activities you love. So if you are in the early stages and something seems off, the sooner the better. Right, Doc?
Absolutely. That's my biggest recommendation with anybody. Even if it's a couple of weeks, we just had a guy who only had it for 6 weeks, and the severity was pretty intense. But yeah, act first for sure.
All right, again, this is the number to dial, and remember, you call, leave your first and last name and a working number. They can reach you during office hours during the week, 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. First consultation, examination, and treatment is free, marydanston.com. So what are the reasons why people get neuropathy?
There's 100 reasons. I mean, there's 100 reasons. You know, our demographics that definitely get the neuropathy more often than not is an older population. You know, as we mentioned earlier, the top 4 things we look for are diabetes, cancer treatments, anything from radiation to chemo, immunotherapy. Certain drugs can cause it. When people get cardiac disease, they like to get put on certain medications, one including a statin drug, which helps to reduce cholesterol. We call it a statin. That is a medication that can cause peripheral neuropathy. And then we got back issues, people with stenosis, disc problems, surgeries. I had a guy who went through, I call it the trifecta. He had diabetes, diabetics like to get put on cholesterol medicine, and he had 5 back surgeries. He suffered for a decade, 10 years. You want to talk about listening to a story, Rob? Listen to Ron's story. It was absolutely horrible to listen to what he had to go through every single day, let alone at night. Just couldn't hardly walk, pain constantly. He literally was worried about losing legs, losing feet. And more importantly, he's like, this is not the life I want to live. And he'd done everything. He tried every cream, every therapy you see online, and even programs around the way he's tried. And after he went through our program, he is pretty much neuropathy free. He doesn't even really think about it. All his entire pain is gone. He's walking normal. He wasn't hardly able to walk very far distances because of the pain. He's sleeping at night. It has completely changed his life. So it is an amazing system that we have. It works. You just have to qualify for our program.
We're going to talk next segment about how they've helped over 15,000 people and the science behind what they do and why they are the industry leader. But I can't stress this enough. Listen, make this your New Year's resolution. Don't spend the next year dealing with neuropathy. Give yourself a fighting chance. 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. First consultation, examination, and treatment is free. All you need to do is dial that number today, 724-940-9000. Leave your first and last name and a working number that his staff can reach you throughout the week. You'll be in, you'll know exactly where you stand, and the best part of all, making that phone call, your first consultation, examination, and treatment is free. Doc, I got a minute before the break. Throwing that offer out there, that's a massive opportunity for people to take the first step. But you do it because you believe in this and you've seen the results, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know if you qualify for our program, I always tell everybody you can expect to get 50 to 100% better, and better yet, we'll teach you to maintain that. That first appointment is the most important visit. And I always say it's good. This is a progressive disease. Like these people that I talk about over the Christmas holiday and how well they're doing, some of these people have been a year, some people have been a decade. Where will they be? What about next Christmas? We just said at the beginning of the show how fast the year went. What happens at the end of 2026 if you do absolutely nothing about it? It is going to get worse. So take advantage of that visit. We're very thorough. We're going to be knowledge whether you have this or not. And if you do, we can get you better.
Many people suffering from neuropathy's debilitating symptoms give up hope to regaining their lives as traditional treatments have been disappointing. While there is hope, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has been successfully treating and helping neuropathy sufferers since 2013. The professionals at Tri-State Neuropathy Centers understand full well how to help people with neuropathy. They've treated over 15,000 people who've suffered from peripheral neuropathy and have a 90% patient satisfaction rate. They have become one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country. If you've been suffering with neuropathy, you wish to look into that proven method of improvement, call 724-940-9000. First consultation, examination, and treatment is free. Call now, leave your first and last name and a working number. They can reach you during the week, and you'll get all of the above. 724-940-9000. Go to marydancedin.com. More with Dr. Sean Ritchie in just a moment on KDKA. Happy New Year and more great savings to start the year at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank Dentisi?
Right, Rob. In our meat department, 85% lean fresh ground round, $4.99 a pound, and frozen George's chicken wing sections, 4-pound bags, $9.99 each. In the produce department, extra large slicing tomatoes, 99 cents a pound, and California iceberg lettuce, 2 heads for $3. In our bakery department, assorted fruit-filled mini Danish, 10-count packages, $5.50 each. And in our deli department, Lamagna mozzarella or provolone cheese is $4.99 a pound, and Made Fresh Daily street tacos, 3-count package, $5.99 each. Additional savings this week: Green Mountain K-Cups, 10-count package, $5.99 each, and Lean Cuisine Classics or Features, 5 to 11.5 ounce packages, buy 4, get 1 free with your Coons Reward Card.
So start the new year off with great savings at Coons Market. Coons Market, a special place in your neighborhood, a Pittsburgh tradition.
I'm with Rocco Florio of Air Pro Heating and Cooling, a trusted HVAC company that carries quality Bryant products and serves the entire Pittsburgh area. Rocco, what's up on prices for furnaces and air conditioning equipment?
Larry, it's best for people to purchase now, as equipment prices are going up in the coming months. AirPro takes pride in our prices. We are lower than the competition and provide financing options and long warranties.
Call AirPro Heating and Cooling today at 800-749-0642. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Colin Dunlap on KDKA.
This may be one of the most failed endeavors in recent legislative times. Do you know one person still who has gotten a warning for the Paul Miller's Law? Do yourself a favor. When you're driving somewhere today, count how many people you see still using their cell phone driving.
Weekdays 2 to 6 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It is 24 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 9:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Right now, there is a widespread power outage in parts of Bethel Park and Upper St. Clair. It's estimated some 4,000 people are without power at this hour. Bethel Park police say due to down power lines, they've closed Bethel Church Road between Drake and Alton. And in Upper St. Clair, McMurray Road is closed in front of St. Louis Church. It's unclear when power will be restored. Pittsburgh police are investigating a reported stabbing early this morning in Lawrenceville. It happened around 4:15 this morning on Butler Street. Victim had a wound to the rib cage. That person was taken to the hospital, expected to recover. Police say so far the victim has been uncooperative with the investigation. KDK Radio News Time, 9:31. Our next update's at 10. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDK.
Brian Schlaba here from the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, born and raised right here. Since 2015, we've helped over 1,000 Pittsburgh homeowners sell their houses quickly and without the stress. No repairs, cleanouts, inspections, or appraisals. We give fast and fair cash offers, buy your home as is, and you choose the closing day. Visit homebuyersoftpittsburgh.com or call 412-500-9057. That's 412-500-9057.
Pittsburgh's local trusted homebuyer since 2015.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and lose the weight or stop smoking or your money back. Only $59.99. Weight loss hypnosis Sunday, January 11th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh West and Green Tree at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized Cash Rewards or unlimited Cash Rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A. in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Rights reserved.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today may bring a flurry in some spots to start the day. Otherwise, it looks to be cloudy with a high of 30. Those clouds generally hang tough for tonight with a low of 23. And tomorrow looks cloudy as well, but much less cold with a high of 45. Then clouds on Tuesday yield a bit of afternoon rain, high 49. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Tri-State Neuropathy Centers.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, we are back, Dr. Sean Ritchie. So, Doc, as we went into break, by the way, continue to keep that number handy, 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. You or someone you know, there is hope. Neuropathy, they've really treated over 15,000, 90% approval as far as people that have gotten results. What you need to do is call that number, leave your first and last name, so they can also reach you at a working number throughout the week during business hours. First consultation, examination, and treatment is free. So how have you helped so many people? What is the science behind what you do, the secret sauce? Because you're the largest. You're #1. Everybody wants to be you, but as I like to say, often imitated but never duplicated. What is the science behind what you do at Tri-State Neuropathy Centers?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that is why we've become so successful, is the technologies that we have is the best and most powerful on the market. To explain it, let me explain a little bit about why these nerves are dying so that we understand how our technology is working and helping so many people. What happens is these little nerves are dying. You know, we've learned the causes, diabetes, statin drugs, backs, chemotherapy, radiation. All these things can cause neuropathy. Now, there's a lot more. That's not the only reasons. But once you have learned that these nerves are dying, what's happening is that these nerves are starving for oxygen and nutrients, and they're just not getting it. If we can somehow feed these nerves oxygen and nutrients, we can actually help them to start to regenerate. And that's the problem here. So if we take a step back, our heart, it sends out blood. It has all this oxygen and all these nutrients. It literally keeps everything alive. It goes through an artery and then hits this little capillary. It's only about the size of a piece of hair, and it's a single cell that allows all that oxygen and nutrients to permeate out. And that goes and feeds everything, keeps everything alive. If I can give like an example, if you take your finger, put a rubber band around it, and you squeeze it, you can watch it change. You can see the colors change. That's not feeding the tissue. If you open that up and take the rubber band off, you can see the health come back. And that's what's happening to these feet. Now, the furthest from the heart is the peripheral, the hands and the feet. So all of a sudden, when this food and nutrients get from the blood all the way down to the feet, this little vessel, unfortunately, has kind of closed up. And it's just not letting it get out. And it's not getting any oxygen and nutrients to those nerves. And that's because our body makes this little thing called nitric oxide. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of nitric oxide, not nitrous oxide. That's that laughing gas. This is nitric oxide. Our body makes it. It's made in these little blood vessels, and it keeps those vessels open. So it allows permeability. Now, unfortunately, as we get older, that level of nitric oxide gets lower and lower and lower. So those vessels get tighter and tighter and tighter. First from the heart is down in the peripheral. So these little nerves that are dying, whether it's diabetes, chemotherapy, back issues, statin drugs, whatever it is that's causing those nerves to die, they're just not getting fed because those little vessels have tightened up. So if somehow we can take and produce nitric oxide in those little blood vessels and take them and open them up, guess what we can do? We can start to water those nerves. I'd a little like to give an example. It's like grass that hasn't had rain in a while, or a plant that hasn't had water in a while. All you have to do is water it, and it'll come back to life. And that's exactly what we do. We have the best technology on the market. Now, the technology we use is a lot of different components to our program, but the one main one, and what separates us from everybody else, is a very specific technology called low-level light therapy. Now, we're the only ones that have this specific one. It's the most powerful one. And it allows the light, hits these little photorecepting cells on your skin, and then allows the production of nitric oxide. And it's the same thing as going out in the sun. These little photorecepting cells, except that sunlight, it produces vitamin D. Our frequencies of light hit those same cells in your skin from your toes up to your knees and produces nitric oxide. And by far the most powerful. Now, over these years, 13 years is a lot of time for technology to advance, and that's where we stand, as we have the most powerful. And the two most important things that separate us from anybody else out there and any other low-level light therapy is, one is a refractive angle. Every other one is 17 degrees. Ours refracts at 120, so we cover a lot more surface area. But most importantly, there's this thing called tissue accommodation. This, Rob, is the most important thing. Like, you might hear low-level light therapy, you might see it online, you might see other groups having it, but not one other technology out there, low-level light therapy technology, has this. It's what we call a pulsed light frequency. And what happens is when these lights hit your tissue, after about 2 minutes, it starts to become resistant. We call it tissue accommodation. We've learned that over the last few years, and we've been able to take this light and we put a pulse to it. And in that 1 second, that light hit you, it flashes about 50 times. You can't see it. But what that ultimately does is it allows us to have a 20-minute session of 100% absorption of that light to produce the maximum amount of nitric oxide to open your blood vessels like you're 20 years old again. That's awesome.
It's almost like having a tourniquet around your blood vessels, and you basically release the tourniquet, and everything starts to flow. Right direction.
You nailed it. That's exactly what it is. It's funny, sometimes these people that come in with purple toes, you can almost see a difference in one treatment. You know, not that we're looking for that immediate change, because this is like throwing grass seed down and we water for the first day. You don't see that grass seed come up. So that is the difference between us. You might hear of other light therapies on the market, but let me tell you about the rating scales. We rate 10 times more than anybody else. So that's why we have been successful. We've taken people that have gone through other programs out there on the market, and we've been able to take, I had a lady that went through 8 months of therapy, got 0 results. Even when I tested her, her scores were in the single digits. And after 90 days, we had her 85% better. I gave her another month, and I had her near 100%. So I know our technology is different than everybody else.
So let me explain. He helped me, and he's helped so many people that I know, and how I realized I had neuropathy years and years and years ago. I started to get a little tingling and what have you. I was hit by a truck jogging way back in the 80s, cracked some vertebrae, and now fast forward 20, 25 years later, the neuropathy started to set in. But I didn't really make anything of it because I was young, I was active. I just thought, I slept wrong, this, that, whatever. I actually would wake up, the feet were so cold, and normally when you get into a shower, even in the middle of winter, you kick the furnace up a little bit, warm up the house, you get moving, it goes away. But Doc, I would go into the shower, a hot shower, and I would come out, the body was nice and warm, but my feet were still freezing. And the color wasn't right. So that's when I kind of knew there was this thing, neuropathy, going on, when even a hot shower couldn't take that cold that you get, that bitter cold when it comes to your feet.
Yeah. I mean, you nailed it. I mean, these are the stories I hear every day. Yeah. One of the guys that I mentioned earlier, like, he said he couldn't feel like the cold tile floor, the carpet. He's like, now feels everything. He's able to feel like the hot water in the shower. Cold tile floor. He's like, I rub my feet on the carpet. He goes, it's almost like a massage. I can feel it. He goes, it's so rewarding to be able to put your feet on the ground and feel what they feel.
You know, so Friday I was working from the office at home, doing a lot of work with our sales department here, putting stuff as far as Pittsburgh Works programming and lining everything up. And I did the whole year because I'm kind of like that, you know, and I realized I got up. My feet were asleep because I'd been sitting behind this computer literally for about 3 or 4 hours straight. And I went, oh, my goodness, this is what neuropathy was like. I'm so glad I don't deal with that anymore, because obviously my feet were just asleep. I had them under my buttocks, and I was moving and this and crossing my legs. Bottom line is, that alone made me appreciate you even more, because I don't want to go back to what I had. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. When you can't feel the firmness of the dining room floor under your feet because you have that numbing feeling, that is such a dangerous way to live your life, Doc.
Yeah. I mean, you nailed it on the point. I mean, you just said, you know, that falling asleep feeling. That's kind of the beginning stages where it just feels like your feet has fallen asleep. And if I could make you listen to every story I've heard and hear the journey of how they've gone to doctors, gone to neurologists, and they're great. Don't get me wrong, they're great. But with neuropathy, they have one solution. It's a medication that tries to mask the pain. That is not going to fix it. But I talk about this whole year of 2025, and we've helped thousands of people, and we've watched these people get better. I don't know where they would be if they didn't choose to do our program. They would be worse. They would, you know, they could get amputated toes. They could lose the ability to drive. The sleeping goes away. Like just watching how this progresses on every patient. Take it, 2026, just make it your year. If you've got neuropathy, quit messing around, quit chasing medications, quit looking for creams, quit looking for something online. We have the answer. You know, the light therapy is not the only thing. We have other technologies that improves microvessel blood flow. We have technologies that can stimulate the nerves and re-educate them how to work. We have a lot of components to our program. But that first visit, take the step. Come in. We're going to see if you have it. If you do, we can customize a program that's going to be perfect for you and help you get better.
Just think, you make the call today, you get the first consultation, examination, and treatment free. He comes back February 10th. You may be a success story. But the only way you find that out is to call on this January 4th. Do it now. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000, and you will get first consultation, examination, and treatment free. You'll get all of that, but you got to call right now. Call to action. Don't let neuropathy keep you a prisoner in your life. Be able to take a giant step forward by making the call 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000, first and last name, and a working number. They can reach you throughout the week during business hours. One more segment to begin the new year. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia. MaryDancedIn.com. Dr. Sean Ritchie with your Pratt Pack. We'll be right back.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Timing is everything. It's the new year and time to get moving on resolutions like taking better care of your health. Individual and family coverage from UPMC Health Plan can help you do it. The countdown is on. You only have until January 15th to get a plan that will be there for whatever the year brings. Don't drop the ball on getting great coverage. To get started with one-on-one support, visit upmchealthplan.com/marketplace.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
Think back to the last time you were in nature. What comes to mind? Hiking through a lush forest, floating on a lazy river, or perhaps watching a vibrant sunset on a beach full of glistening plastic bottles and food wrappers. Unfortunately, this isn't a joke. Here in the US, we generate the most plastic waste in the world, with 70% of it ending up in landfills. And by the time you're done listening to this ad, more than a dump truck's worth of plastic will have made it into the ocean. Plastic has become a useful part of our everyday lives, but it's polluting the air, water, and soil that all life needs to survive. This is a human problem that can be solved with human action, but it's going to take all of us, from individuals to businesses to governments and everyone in between. Help create a cleaner future for both people and nature. Visit wwf.earth/plastics.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, just a couple of minutes left. So, Doc, bottom line, somebody comes to you and say, I hear everybody talking about neuropathy. Why should I choose the Tri-State Neuropathy Centers? We've given the scientific background, the 15,000, the 90% approval and satisfaction rating, but from the heart, you being a man of a lot of knowledge, put a lot of time and effort into this. This is your life. You do it every day with your great staff and all the people who work with you at all of these locations. But what would you say to them? They just simply come up and say, why should I choose you?
Well, it's the experience. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and one thing I've always believed is you just got to be honest. And when somebody comes in, they're looking for answers and they're desperate. And there's a lot of people that actually come in and they're not candidates. I literally just had a lady that came in and said she's been suffering for 15 to 16 years. And she was just like in tears, just wanting me to tell her that I could help her. And I had to tell her she didn't have it. We did everything and it just wasn't landing exactly as it is, as what neuropathy is. And we ran the test on her and the test showed that she didn't have it. And I kind of gave her some suggestions. I had some good ideas on what she could do to do that. And that's a good thing. If you don't qualify for a program, we generally have a good direction for you to go. But the second thing is I've been in this a long time. I've tried a lot of different technologies. I've started with meeting the neurologist who discovered the program and the technology and brought the Nobel-winning knowledge of nitric oxide to science, which is the low-level light therapy, to the table. And he's the guy that trained me. One of the first 10 guys doing this, I've been able to stay on top of exactly what works and how the best technologies on the market, from anything from improving nitric oxide to increasing blood flow to stimulating nerves. I've tried different technologies too. I had a guy that did this thing called shockwave therapy, and he swore to me that it would work for neuropathy, and if it did, it would for sure be in my practice. We have one of our docs that has that technology out in Altoona, and he said it works awesome for other things like muscle pain, back pain, shoulder pain. He says it works great, but I had this guy, I said, prove it to me. And he came in and I gave him 6 patients for 30 days, and all the patients with neuropathy said they actually got worse. So I knew that doesn't work. I have one of our docs has one of the most powerful lasers on the market. It's a 60-watt K4 laser, and he knows it doesn't work for neuropathy, but it works great for everything else. Again, back issues and joints and muscles, and he says it works great for that, but for neuropathy, it's a temporary thing. And so all these different technologies, trust me, I am looking every single day. I never give up my research on finding the next thing to add to our program. But the most important thing is our technology is proven, it's factual, it's FDA approved. 15,000 people is a lot of proof to say that, hey, these people have gotten 50 to 100% better. And the best part about our program, this is not a temporary thing. This isn't getting you through the day. This is about getting you better, getting these nerves to come back to life. And then once we get you there, You take the equipment home with you. It's very easily done. You can get it done at home, and once we get you there, a maintenance program is super simple to maintain those results. And the best part about our program is it's a lifetime membership. Once you come, we start the program, we get you going. We'll work as long as it takes, and once we get you there, we get you on a maintenance program at home on your own accord. And the best part is if you ever have a flare-up or you start to feel these things starting to come back into play, you just call us. You know, there's no cost to it. You come in, we get you on a little maintenance, usually about a 30-day mini plan, where we get you doing some of the technologies in the office, and we get you back doing the stuff at home, get you back on point, and back to the maintenance you go. And that's a lifetime membership. So in our experience, we've done our trials, we've done our errors, we found what works, and we found what doesn't work. So the most important thing is neuropathy is a progressive disease. Come in for the free visit. We'll be able to tell you whether or not you have it. And if you do have it, we'll be able to put a program together that will actually get you better.
Well, you know, this is something that's probably going to be a part of your life for the rest of your time on this earth, because when you think about it, 333 million and some change on the planet that is the United States of America, and like 10% have it, and more people are getting it every day. So this is something that you're going to be able to help so many more people in your lifetime. And now that you have that key to unlock and get the success, it just must excite you and your staff every day, knowing when you go to work and turn the lights on, you're making the difference for someone.
Yeah, it is a joy to go to work. You know, like over this Christmas break, you know, it's like you celebrate people, you celebrate your life, your family. And the other thing that you always want to celebrate is your health. And being able to hear these people and their health being changed and their neuropathy getting better, and that getting them back to doing the things that they love to do. You know, Marie cooking again, you know, Ron just being able to sleep and walk and do the things he wants to do and not worry about being in a wheelchair. Like, you have no idea how their future outlook is when they start to get this, and they're told by their top neurologists and the PCPs that there's nothing that they can do except take the medication, and hopefully we can stop it or dim down some of that pain. So if you've got neuropathy or you think you have it, give us a call. We will be able to tell you whether you're a good candidate or not for our program.
Well, here's the thing, too. What I love is the fact that, you know, people my age, people 10 years younger, but I love the 80-somethings and even into the 90s, because these people aren't willing to give up on life, because many people have said, well, you know, you've lived a long life, you're in your 90s. They want to still participate. They want to be active. They want to make the most out of every day. And if anybody understands how you have to embrace every single second, they do. And I commend them for calling you and trying to get rid of this horrible disease. To me, that means that everyone should have hope. Right, Doc?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Absolutely. Do not give up. Do not take the advice that there's nothing that can be done. That's not true anymore. I have 15,000 people that will say otherwise.
All right, let me remind all of you, by acting today, you can prevent your neuropathy from getting worse with a drug-free, painless, non-invasive, FDA-approved treatment program that will help you get back to enjoying all the activities you love. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, Dr. Sean Ritchie in Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia. To find out more, go to Mary Danston, that's one word, marydanston.com. Pick up the phone, make the call today. Even as we go off the air, call throughout the day. Tell people that you know that are dealing with it that there is hope. They can call as well. They'll qualify for everything we've been talking about on the show. 724-940-9000. 724-940-9000. 724-940-9000. Leave your first and last name and a working number. They can reach you during office hours throughout the week. You're going to get the first consultation, examination, and treatment free. That's right. First consultation, examination, and treatment free. Doc, to you, your family, Happy New Year. It's a pleasure being with you and looking forward to another great year helping people each and every time we get together on KDKA.
I appreciate it. Happy New Year to you too, Rob.
There he goes, the man, the myth, truly a guy that I have such faith in because he gets results and he wears his heart on his sleeve. He loves helping people. Dr. Sean Ritchie, 724-940-9000. First consultation, examination, and treatment free.
The proceeding was paid for by Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Information on the program was intended solely to further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard in the preceding program.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
And one of the things that you've heard a lot about, especially toward the second half of last year, is changes in the healthcare world. CEO of MediConnect, we know him very well, Lance O'Brien.
Things get really, really difficult for some people. So who's being impacted the most? One is early retirees, and usually your middle class.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for moms.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-747-7676. 800-747-7676. Again, that's 800-747-7676.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm with Joe Potocznik, JP Roofing and Siding. Congratulations, Joe. Triple Crown winner from Owens Corning.
Yes, Larry. We are proud to announce that we are recognized for service excellence, product excellence, and MVP based on marketing leadership and customer service.
Call Joe and his team. You'll get the best of the best. Get a free estimate for roof and siding replacements. Call the roofing replacement experts at JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711. Congrats, Joe.
Thank you, Larry.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 25 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 10 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Right now, there's a widespread power outage in parts of Bethel Park and Upper St. Clair. It's estimated some 4,000 people are without power. Bethel Park police say due to downed power lines, they've closed Bethel Church Road between Drake and Alton. Also in Upper St. Clair, McMurray Road is closed in front of the St. Louis Church. Now, West Penn Power expects that the power is to be restored to residents by around 11:30 this morning. Pittsburgh police are investigating a reported stabbing this morning in Lawrenceville. It happened around 4:15 on Butler Street. The victim had a wound to the rib cage. The person was taken to the hospital, is expected to recover. Police say so far the victim has been uncooperative with the investigation. Police in Aliquippa are investigating a stabbing at the Valley Terrace Apartments. This incident happened around 9 o'clock Saturday night. 24-year-old man was found with a stab wound to the abdomen. He was transported to the hospital. Police say they've arrested 21-year-old Judea Wincop in connection to the stabbing. Well, 4 people were injured this morning following a house fire in West Mifflin. That fire began around 3 o'clock this morning at a home on Wood Street. No word on the conditions of those who were hurt and no word on what caused the fire. A man who was shot outside of a funeral home in Aliquippa was shot during a funeral service. State police are now handling the investigation. They say a funeral was happening for a person who was shot and killed in Rochester back in December. While the funeral was happening at the Pitts Funeral Home on Franklin Avenue on Friday, Police say a 23-year-old man was shot outside of the funeral home. It happened around 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. He was shot in the arm. He's expected to recover. No suspects have been arrested as of yet. Well, a crash on the Parkway East sent one person to the hospital. This crash happened on the outbound side near the Bate Street on-ramp Saturday morning around 9 o'clock. No word on the condition of the person who was taken to the hospital. Cause of the crash under investigation. And a rollover crash on I-70 sent one person to the hospital. This crash